What better way to celebrate 4th of July than to react to America's favorite political streamer or Twitter brain streamer, Asmongold? So yeah, Noah Samson uploaded a video called Asmongold's Terrorist Propaganda. It's a little bit of a tough sell to say Asmongold's terrorist propaganda when Hassan also gives terrorist propaganda, though I am willing to extend some charity to Noah Samson. The right is a lot more worse currently. You know, a lot of the right voted in a pedophile rapist president, so, like, again, the fucking disparity between the left and the right is massive, not in a good way. But yeah, no, like, obviously, I do hate that the left is constantly, like, I feel like the left is too scared to make videos on Asmongold and Tectone or any other right-wing grifter online because they're scared of the audience backlash they're gonna get, like, because obviously these, like, their audiences are also just as insane as Hassan's audience is. They're pretty fucking nasty. But yeah, it's I guess it's good to see more people calling out Asmongold more, because, like, Asmongold, I mean, like, the general strategy with Asmongold is he just says a bunch of insane shit and a bunch of provocative and, like, fucking crazy shit for attention online. Because Asmongold is a terminally online Twitter goblin that just scrolls through fucking Twitter all day. Basically, the typical day in the life of Asmongold is wake up, scroll through Twitter, live stream, scroll through Twitter, and then end stream and scroll through Twitter, and then eat like shit all day, and then go to bed. That's basically the entirety of Asmongold's day, essentially. But yeah, we're gonna just watch Noah Samson's video, and then we'll see what Asmongold has to say about it. I guess, as much as I don't like Noah Samson, you know, good on him for actually fucking making a video on Asmongold. Like, finally these people are calling out Asmongold.
I'm absolutely picking a side. Like, if I have to pick, like, I would pick Israel over Iran every day of the week.
Whoa!
Absolutely. Like, it's not even a question. Like,
you're only doing this because Trump told you to think this way. Like, if Trump said that we should be killing all Jewish people, Asmongold would be saying we'd be killing all... Asmongold's opinion is, did Donald Trump approve of it? Then it's okay by me. That's all it is. I mean, like, the reason why we're going to war with Iran is because Israel told us to do so, and we're fighting their wars. Like, that's really all it comes down to. Trump is a puppet for Netanyahu.
I know that people have, like, this Israel fatigue and they hate Israel, but yeah, I would pick Israel every day of the week, and anybody who doesn't want you to do that is probably listening to terrorist propaganda. That's the reason why. Absolutely.
This is...
Well, I mean, let's put it in perspective, right? Israel is illegally occupying territory in the West Bank, constantly using October 7th as a justifier to endlessly slaughter Palestinian civilians and commit war crimes. Would that not be a form of terrorism? I don't know. I would say Israel is arguably just as much of a terrorist as Hamas is. And I'm not trying to whitewash Hamas. Like, Hamas is also just as bad. Don't get me wrong. The Houthis, also bad. Like, yeah, hot take, terrorist groups are bad. But I would argue Israel is just as much... Like, the Israeli government, mainly, not the civilians, are just as fucking bad. They're just as much of a terrorist group as all these other terrorist groups. It's just that they have a more sophisticated government, and they have a more sophisticated country that's more well put together compared to all these other Middle Eastern countries. So that they're able to, I guess, be terrorists more effectively than they would be.
Asmongold. Asmongold is one of the most viewed live streamers in the world. With a daily viewership of over 5 million viewers, this is roughly 10 times the viewership of CNN. And
weirdly enough, I can understand, part of me can understand the appeal in Asmongold. Partly. You know, I don't think Asmongold's a good person. I think Asmongold is a fucking insanely dogshit human being, and he's completely disconnected from the fucking world. But, like, I think people gravitate to Asmongold because he has some level of personality. Unlike some of his orbiters like Nuxtaku and Tectone, who have zero fucking personality and are incredibly, like, I don't know. Like, if Asmongold is bad, they're, like, fucking even more boring than he is.
apparently, Asmongold...
And I guess some people stick around because he used to play World of Warcraft, and then they kind of just, like, stuck around even after Asmongold quit World of Warcraft, that kind of thing.
is concerned with peace in the Middle East. How does he propose to achieve this peace? Well, with bombs.
I think Israel should keep bombing Lebanon because Lebanon has terrorists in it. They have Hezbollah in it, and they, like, again, they're firing rockets into Israel. They are. They're firing rockets into. I hope he.
Well, again, fucking October 7th. I will point you to that because they just, like, obviously October 7th was bad, but Israel, even to this day, constantly uses that as a justifier to keep killing civilians. You know?
Kills every single...
And just because, like, Hamas uses... they hide behind civilian infrastructure and they use them as human shields, which is obviously not right. I wouldn't doubt that, like, Hamas does that, like, to optically look good, to be like, oh my god, we're looking to be, like, we look like we're being oppressed. Like, they probably do it that way. Like, I wouldn't doubt that that's part of the reason why they do that. But Israel also is, like, equally responsible in not continuing to attack regardless of using them as human shields. Like, Israel is also equally responsible for killing those civilians, despite them using them as human shields. Like, they made the choice to kill those civilians.
Fucking one of the Hezbollah members in Lebanon. Every single fucking one. And only then will the people there have peace.
On his June 14th live stream, Asmongold advocated for the continuation of Israel's bombing campaign in Lebanon. And in the same stream, he also advocated against a peace agreement to end the US and Israel's war on Iran.
If we make peace with Iran, they no longer consider us a mortal enemy. Why is that not an acceptable outcome to you? Because they're not. They're just going to lie to you. They're ideologically captured. They're religious zealots, and they can't be allowed to, they can't be allowed to be trusted. They've already broken too many deals before. They've lied too many times.
Asmongold's...
Okay, I mean, it's interesting because, like, ultimately, Asmongold's take from the entirety of this is ultimately going to be more violence, more violence, more violence, more violence. It pretty much reaffirms what I've been saying about Asmongold on this channel, where Asmongold is constantly scrolling through your Twitter feed, and your Twitter feed is constantly feeding you porn and violence every day. Like, it is just like a total slot machine on Twitter. And Asmongold is constantly being fed right-wing propaganda and right-wing garbage in his fucking feed, and anything that's, like, super pro-Trump in his feed, so he's just going to reaffirm that, and he's getting psyoped into believing, oh, we are correct in this. We are the morally right ones for resorting to violence, and anything that Donald Trump does is a good thing, even though he's a fucking rapist pedophile that's ruining our relations and our fucking economy everywhere.
Argument for the continued bombing of Iran and Lebanon is that in order to...
Yeah, and like I said, we're only getting involved in this war with Iran because Israel told us to. It's fucking crazy.
To achieve peace, we must get rid of the terrorists. Hezbollah is a terrorist group, so he says, and Iran funds them.
Well, not for nothing, Noah. They are a designated terrorist organization. I mean, that's not any, like, obviously it's not an excuse for Israel to commit war crimes, because I would argue the Israeli government is just as much of a terrorist group as Hezbollah is, but still.
Ergo, we have to bomb the terrorists.
Can you tell your argument why you consider them terrorists? Because they fund people that attack and kill civilians on purpose and target civilians to kill them in order to achieve political goals. Groups like Hezbollah and the Houthis and Hamas. It's that simple.
There are a few...
I don't know, like, because, like, we have to put it into perspective. What does Asmongold have in common with these terrorist organizations? And, like, because let's actually put it, like, Asmongold constantly shits on third world countries, and, like, and he uses, like, the terrorism as a justification for it. I don't really think it's that, and I'm gonna explain this to you. What is Asmongold, like, the values that Asmongold has, they actually have a lot more commonalities with Asmongold than you would think. You know, a lot of these third world countries like Palestine, Lebanon, Yemen, like all these countries, I would say are very regressive on people. They're very anti-gay, they're very anti-trans, they're very anti-women, you know, they're pro-rape in a lot of areas. They, like, they are extremely regressive when it comes to the general culture. So, like, what is Asmongold? You know, very pro-Donald Trump. He completely fucking downplays Trump's involvement with Epstein and says that there's no accountability and never blames Trump for it, so he completely downplays Trump's involvement with Epstein. So I would say that's being a rape apologist and also pro-pedophilia to some extent. Asmongold is very anti-gay, anti-trans. Asmongold is extremely, like, regressive when it comes to all of these things. So Asmongold, value-wise, he doesn't really have that many differences from these third world countries. So why does Asmongold hate them so much? Well, it's very simple. He's fucking racist. That's really what it comes down to. Asmongold just doesn't like brown people. He is constantly communicated, and routinely said on his streams that Somalian people have an inherently lower IQ, that illegal immigrants are gross, and he completely agrees with the sentiment of Donald Trump saying that illegal immigrants are trying to kidnap and eat and rape your children, which Asmongold doesn't seem to have a problem with raping children as long as it's a pedophile president that does it. And he also has said that on the Caleb, like, he did like a whole podcast episode with Caleb Hammer where he said that he would rather have robots in this country than illegal immigrants, which is incredibly fucking racist. It's insane. Like, you want to enforce illegal immigration policies, that's one thing, but the dehumanizing language of illegal immigrants is fucking crazy. Especially from conservatives, of all people. Like, you would understand the incentive of wanting to come here and to start a new life, and family values, which illegal immigrants are trying to start a new life with their family. You would think that with conservative family values, you would understand that. But instead, you have to use all this fucking dehumanizing, like, racist language against them. It's insane. You guys go off the deep end with them to, like, push a fucking political agenda. It's fucking crazy. So yeah, I mean, like, I don't think it's far-fetched to say that Asmongold is a racist. He is a routinely racist person on his stream.
Issues with his analysis here, though. First among them is the premise. Asmongold repeats the IDF's line that they are targeting Hezbollah in Lebanon, but that's not what's actually happening. What the evidence shows is that targeting Hezbollah is just a pretext, one that Israel uses to blow up everything in sight and mass murder civilians.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like I said, Israel's constantly using October 7th as a justifier to commit war crimes. It's pretty gross.
Is targeting men, women, children, journalists, healthcare workers, hospitals, ambulances.
Like, listen, October 7th was terrible, but, like, it is not a justifier to... We're past the point of October 7th being a continued justifier to constantly kill civilians in Palestine over and over and over again.
They are leveling entire cities. They're also routinely using white phosphorus indiscriminately and in civilian residential areas.
Yeah, it's pretty gross. It's disgusting.
The first month of attacks on...
It's like, I would say universally this is an inexcusable thing. Unless you're Asmongold, of course, and then you just say that all brown people are terrorists, I guess.
Lebanon alone, they used it to burn over 10...
Oh yeah, another thing. Back in March of this year, we reacted to a video of Asmongold covering the whole... Jake Lang protest that happened outside of the mayor mansion, with Zoran Mamdani in office, and Asmongold basically uses that as an opportunity to dog whistle that Muslims should be hanging from the streets, and that every single Muslim person that exists is inherently a terrorist, which is another racist dog whistle.
10,000 acres of forests and farmland. These are all war crimes. In just the past 4 months, Israel has killed nearly 4,000 people in Lebanon, including hundreds of children and healthcare workers. On average, Israeli forces have killed more than one child every day since April. On October 3rd, 2024, Israel bombed a medical center in Beirut, killing 9 people and injuring 14.
It's really disgusting.
7 of those killed were members of the medical staff. That same month, Israel destroyed a significant portion of an entire city, Tyre, one of the oldest cities in the world. They damaged over 400 apartments, completely destroyed several buildings, and demolished a number of ancient historical sites. On March 12, 2026, Israel bombed a beachside tent encampment housing people that they had displaced from their bombings, killing 8 and wounding 31. The strike came in the middle of the night, and it was a double tap strike. The first missile landed and killed 3 people near the beach, and when people approached to help the victims, the second missile landed. No evacuation warning was issued. This was in a safe zone. In all of these examples of mass civilian death and destruction, what did Israel say it was doing? It said it was targeting Hezbollah.
Yeah, again, that's... the Israeli government does not care about the human shields, very obviously so. I don't think that's unreasonable to say. They don't care. Like, they can't, again, they're just using October 7th as a justifier, and that, oh, they're terrorists. Doesn't matter if they're using human shields. We still kill them. It's still a war crime. You're still choosing to commit a war crime. And you're still, like, the excuse that, oh, but October 7th, doesn't matter anymore. Like, you're still making a conscious choice to kill fucking civilians.
Is their pretext, and Asmongold is repeating it uncritically. And the same is true of Asmongold's endorsement of Israel's stated goal of eliminating Hamas.
Well, yeah, because Trump said that it's a good thing to do. So Asmongold is just going to regurgitate whatever Trump says. Asmongold, like, we understand that Asmongold is, like, super pro-Trump on anything. Doesn't matter. Like, Trump could literally say, hey, Asmongold, we need to fucking neuter you and cut your ball sack off. And then Asmongold will be like, yeah, that's totally cool. I don't know what you mean, but that's totally chill.
maybe what Israel says it's doing, but in reality, what Israel's actually doing in Gaza is killing entire families by leveling apartment blocks, killing toddlers with machine guns, shooting babies in the head with snipers, while
Yeah, pretty disgusting. This is all inexcusable. Very gross.
they're being breastfed by their mothers alone in tents in broad
Jesus Christ, dude. Holy fuck.
daylight. The vast majority of the people that Israel has killed in Gaza have been civilians. That is the conclusion of every independent expert. The only ones still denying it in 2026 are Israel and the United States, and the content creators online that defend them for some reason still.
Alright, come on, dude. Is Ethan Klein taking a fucking stray in this video? Like, come on. Like, I've been criticizing Ethan Klein a lot more recently, but we all know that the whole Ethan Klein as a Zionist claim is fucking silly. Like, Ethan Klein, he constantly denounces the Israeli government, and he constantly calls out their war crimes. He just said, all Ethan Klein's take really is the civilians of Israel are not bad people, but the Israeli government is terrible and Netanyahu's a war criminal. That's his take. It's like the most normal take you can give. There's other things to criticize Ethan Klein for, but this whole Ethan Klein as a Zionist route is just, like, silly, Noah. And deep down, I think you know it. I feel like you're just trying to appease Hassan with this take. It's kind of crazy.
And as for Asmongold's claim about the United
I can maybe, like, look past it because Asmongold is worse than Hassan, but still.
States.
And, like, yeah, no, Asmongold's worse. Like, he's way worse than Hassan is. Hassan is just Hassan's a lol cow. That's what it comes down to. No one fucking takes Hassan seriously anymore. He's just a total lookout. Not even serious politicians take Hassan seriously anymore. He's just like, they all laugh at him. And, like, everybody points and laughs at Hassan because they know he's just a rich, spoiled, entitled baby piece of shit. Like, we know that's who Hassan is, all right? I'm not going to pull any punches. I'm not defending Hassan. Like, yeah, like, call out Hassan. Cool. But, like, Asmongold routinely is racist on his stream, routinely says that violence is the solution to everything, downplays Trump being a pedophile, just like absolute disgusting, wretched human being that spews a lot more worse rhetoric that is fucking dangerous to the political climate than Hassan is. And I would argue Asmongold's worse because he does a better job of convincing people than Hassan does. Because the thing about Asmongold, the reason why I would say people gravitate to him more than Hassan is because he sounds reasonable and he sounds calm doing it, right? He sounds like a reasonable person. But just because you say something in a calm demeanor and just because you communicate things more calmly doesn't mean the shit that you're saying isn't fucking insane. The shit you're saying is still batshit fucking crazy. Like, you're still, like, denying Trump having any involvement with Epstein. You're still denying, you're still saying that violence is the solution to things. You're still saying that black people and any non-white person are inferior to white people genetically. It's insane. It's fucking crazy.
The same goes for them. Firstly, because they supply the vast majority of the weapons that Israel has used to commit its genocide, but they
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah.
Also do...
Like I said, Israel is, like, the most sophisticated military-wise, and they're pretty, I guess, a lot more well-rounded, like, I guess from a stability standpoint compared to the rest of the Middle East is. So, and, like, that's mainly due to the fact that the U.S. is constantly giving them weapons and supplying them with weapons.
Murderous bombing campaigns themselves.
I will say, it does sound awfully familiar to a certain point, albeit some differences in history. You know, we didn't get involved in World War II until we were attacked. Because we were supplying weapons to Britain, and we were supplying weapons to countries in the U.S. until we were attacked, and then we went to war with Nazi Germany. We got involved. I don't know. Sounds very similar.
In the first week of the war, the United States blew up an Iranian elementary school, killing 156 people, 120 of whom were children. 120 little girls and boys murdered.
Yeah, and we also have to just take into account that all this controversy and all this fucking terror that the U.S. is also getting involved in, we had no business getting involved in the Iran war whatsoever. Again, we're doing it mainly because we're trying to siphon them of all of their resources. Israel told us to do it, and also to distract from Trump's involvement with Epstein. Like, we understand that every controversy Trump is trying to start up over and over again in the U.S. is just to distract from the fact that he is most likely a rapist pedophile. I mean, Ted Lowe leaked in the Epstein file. He said that he saw all the Epstein files unredacted, and he said that there are disturbing claims in the Epstein documents that Trump was threatening women and children to murder them, basically, and that he was also raping children as young as 13 on that island. It's fucking crazy. It's insane. And, like, a lot of people are going to be like, but there's no concrete evidence. We haven't seen any evidence of it. Okay, so why doesn't Trump release the Epstein list then? He ran on releasing it. He promised that he would release it. And I don't want to hear the dumb excuse, but what about... They always use the excuse, but what about Biden? What about Biden? When they use the excuse, but what about Biden, it's a whataboutism. The reason why you have to resort to that whataboutism is because you can't actually engage with the argument. You can't actually answer the question because deep down, you know there is no justification for Trump withholding the Epstein files when he promised he would. Deep down, you know there's something wrong with it. And you're trying to find all these mental justifications to make Trump seem like a good guy. Deep down, you know he's a bad guy. I think you know it deep down, and you just don't want to acknowledge it.
By the United States in a war.
There is no excuse why the Epstein files are way past their due date of being released unredacted. There's no excuse for it, other than Trump is trying to cover up his fucking crimes on that island.
Or that they started. Asmongold has apparently consulted the history books and feels vindicated by them.
Every single page of the history book proves me right.
But I'm not
Where did you find the history book? On Twitter?
not sure which
Fox News tell you that?
ones he read, because if you look back at any point, you will find the United States committing these same kinds of atrocities across the globe for...
Oh yeah, Vietnam as well. Vietnam was another war we didn't need to get involved in either, but alas...
their wars of aggression. The other issue with Asmongold's analysis here is the presence of that word terrorism. What makes someone a terrorist? Well, for Asmongold, terrorism is defined as the use of violence against civilians for political goals.
Yeah, and that's what Israel is doing. But Asmongold won't call Israel terrorists because Trump doesn't think they're terrorists. So clearly, there is there's conflicting ideas, incongruencies with Asmongold's beliefs here. And it's very easy to pick apart, but again, Asmongold is a MAGA freak, and we have to understand MAGA is not facts-based. They all are based on feelings. Very consistently, they are all feelings-based. Generally speaking, the left is more facts-based than MAGA is. And I'm not saying, listen, okay, before I get a comment saying, stop saying everybody on the right is bad. Okay, conservatives... very different from MAGA, okay? I'm willing to separate things, all right? Normal conservatives and then MAGA, two different ballparks, okay? Conservative-leaning beliefs, like different opinions on tax policies. I actually would probably lean a little more conservatively when it comes to my beliefs on tax policies. You know, very, very different. Huge difference between normal conservatism and then MAGA. MAGA is like an actual cult. Like, if you're normal conservative, I'm willing to at least have a conversation with you. If you're MAGA, we can never be friends. Because you live in a cult, and you live disconnected from reality.
Because they fund people that attack and kill civilians on purpose and target civilians to kill them in order to achieve political goals.
A part of his definition for terrorism is the inability to abide by the terms of agreements.
If we are
and Israel's violated multiple ceasefire agreements, right?
signing a deal with the Islamic Republic of Iran, we are just delaying this war until later on. That's what I think. I think that as long as these people are in power, you are going to, like, they're not going to stop trying to build a nuclear bomb. They're like, I think that this is what's likely to happen.
So it's very interesting. Asmongold, I guess, completely forgets the fact that Iran was actually willing to cooperate with a nuclear deal that we had with them back in 2018 and during Trump's first term. But for whatever fucking reason, Trump decided to peel back from that term, or that agreement. He pulled back for whatever fucking reason, and then Iran started enriching uranium 3 years later. So, like, wow, yeah, that's like the most, yeah, because fucking Trump peeled back from it. Asmongold, what?
They will just blow something else up in a week. They will. It's going to keep happening.
Because Trump pulled back from the nuclear deal in 2018. Like, you can literally, if you don't believe me, if you think I'm full of shit, Google it yourself. Do research on it yourself, and let me know what comes up.
But, and I know
and don't tell me Twitter or Fox News is your source, okay? For the love of God.
This reveal is probably so surprising. Israel and the United States do both of those things all the time. They do it by killing civilians, as we just looked at, and funding and arming and supporting governments that mass murder civilians in campaigns of genocide. But they also do it by breaking ceasefires and peace agreements.
Yeah, and Israel's violated multiple ceasefire agreements.
The most recent example is, starting a war. They started the war and lost, mind you. That's Wikipedia official now. They attacked Iran first, unprovoked. There wasn't a war, and then there was, because the United States and Israel attacked. And the whole reason there's even a need for ceasefire negotiations in the first place is because they attacked. Another important example here is the Iran nuclear deal. Despite observations...
Yeah, I talked about this earlier, where in 2018 they were willing to cooperate with us, but Trump pulled back for some fucking reason, and then they started enriching uranium again in 3 years later.
From independent experts that Iran was abiding by the terms of the agreement, it was the United States who randomly decided to pull out, and then
under Trump, by the way, I have to keep stating that under Trump, he decided to back out.
Proceed to administer brutal sanctions on Iran, crushing the country's economy in a move that was widely understood to be an unprovoked act of aggression.
Yeah, because the U.S. has had had a huge history of constantly siphoning resources from other countries and like stealing their oil as well. I mean, that's also, some people could say that was a huge reason as to why 9/11 happened. Obviously, I'm not justifying 9/11 at all. Like, it's a terrorist attack, yes. But, like, we are constantly fucking stealing their oil. And, like, when we're constantly attacking other countries, like, it's going to radicalize more people into becoming terrorists. When we're constantly siphoning them of their resources and constantly attacking them. Like, that's how that works, like, naturally. I'm not excusing terrorism, but that is the next likely outcome of what's gonna happen, is if we're constantly attacking these fucking countries.
Was condemned by governments across the globe. And of course, the same is true of Israel. They violated ceasefires in Gaza and Lebanon now tens of thousands of times, further displacing millions of people, destroying entire towns, and starving, kidnapping, torturing, and brutalizing the population. Asmongold cites Hezbollah rocket fire as a justification for Israel's bombing in Lebanon.
They're firing rockets into Israel.
But he neglects to mention any of these violations. In Lebanon, in the same time frame of the ceasefire, where Israel committed literally 10,000 violations, Hezbollah fired a total of 4 rockets. But for him, that's a valid reason to promote the IDF's destruction of a sovereign country. So now, okay, of course, there's a double standard, right? By Asmongold's definition of terrorism, which is killing civilians and breaking deals, both the United States and Israel are terrorists. Asmongold acknowledged...
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine to say, unfortunately. You know, I would love to be proud of the U.S., I think that being proud of your country is great. I know there's a lot of cool things to like about U.S. culture, but not right now. Not with Trump in office. I'm fucking ashamed to live in America right now. It's a terrible time to be an American with Trump in office.
This
Trump is objectively one of the worst presidents we've ever had in U.S. history. That is just a fact. The economy is worse under Trump. Our relations with allies are worse under Trump. Trump is constantly raping this country every single fucking day more than he rapes kids on Epstein Island.
In response to a viewer in his chat that brings up Israel.
Does Israel do that too? Israel's on our side. Iran's not. It's that simple.
Guys, fuck brown people. Fuck them brown people. Them brown people shouldn't exist. It's a white country. That's Asmongold's take, basically. He's not going to say it outwardly, but that's his take.
And we do that to them too. But it's very simple. It's our side versus the other side.
Wow, incredible.
I don't want them doing that.
I mean, like I said, Asmongold's solution is just going to be more violence because Trump said that more violence is good. And also because Asmongold is very disconnected from reality. So I think it's just important to bring that up for context. He's disconnected. And, what a selfish take, though, can I just say. It doesn't affect me, so we can just commit more violence to them, and it's never going to affect me because I live in a fucking hobo house in the middle of Texas.
Acknowledges it further while discussing the United States.
To the extent that there is even a hint of it, even a slight, tiny, some little resistance army in Africa, immediately bomb the shit out of them. Shut them down,
Wow.
Keep it done. Anybody that's chanting death to America, anybody that's going around talking about how they're going to attack the United States.
I mean, again, Asmongold's not really that different from the third worlders he shits on. He shares a lot of the same value. He is the third worlder. He has all the fucking regret. He shares all the regressive opinions and values that they share. So, again, what's the difference between them? The color of their skin. That's it. That's literally it.
Or
that's all it is.
Anything else, totally shut him down.
And yet, he still supports them. He still directly advocates for their violence. He gets mad at viewers that point out the contradiction regarding Israel.
APAC funded? Haha, right. Yeah, and, you know, again, like, it's Israel. Israel's so bad. These people are trying to blow you up too, bro. Like, that's it. Do you think Israel's interested?
So is Israel. The fuck? Like, Israel's doing the same thing, and arguably on a wider scale, because they're more powerful than a lot of these Middle Eastern countries. They have a more well-put-together military. They have a more well-put-together country just in general. So they're able to do it more, and the more you bomb these Middle Eastern countries, you're going to radicalize more people into becoming terrorists because they're constantly being exposed to bad shit. I'm not saying any of their values are good, and obviously, like, terrorism is bad in general, but you are unfortunately, that is just the most likely outcome of what's going to happen if you're constantly bombing these countries and killing civilians. You're going to radicalize more people into becoming terrorists.
Is honest with America. I'm not interested in your misdirection towards Israel. I have no interest in that. This is just terrorist subversion.
He even argued.
So the disagreement is just no, with no cohesive thought put together as a counterpoint. Got it.
That anti-American slogans.
I think Asmongold's dialogue tree is kind of starting to get predictable. The more that I react to him on his channel, the more I start to actually predict his, like, fucking dialogue tree. Because we know that every time Asmongold covers a segment on his channel, he never actually, like, blindly reacts to stuff. He always pre-watches everything beforehand, and he prepares his talking points in advance beforehand. Sometimes I've pre-watched stuff too, but there's a difference. I watch a streamer named Papa Gut. Sometimes me and him react to the same things. This video is one of them. The only difference is I actually have an excuse. Asmongold legitimately, like, prepares his talking points in advance, and then he'll come up with the best possible counterpoint beforehand in what he feels is a confident response against them, because he can't do it himself. He's unable to create a fucking talking point for himself on the fly, or constantly able to have, like, a meaningful conversation about this stuff. That's really it. And Asmongold fucking pre-watched whatever that segment was, and then he just is like, oh, but, you know, terrorism. Also, throat Israel.
Should be punished.
And, brown people bad, too. And, Trump's totally not a pedophile.
Extrajudicial drone execution, regardless of their validity.
I don't give a fuck what reasoning they have. I don't care what their reasoning is. I don't care what they think is right. It doesn't matter to me. Like, the only thing that I care about is neutralizing that threat. So whatever gets rid of, like, I don't, like, you think that I give a fuck about what their reasoning is or what their justification is? I don't.
So basically, Asmongold is completely justifying Israel committing war crimes here. That's basically what this is. Is like just, who gives a fuck that they're using human shields, right? Who gives a fuck? We still bomb the shit out of them and we still attack them. I'm not really surprised at the end of the day. Like, we've seen Asmongold, like, this is not the first time that he's justified killing Palestinian people. Like, he had a whole controversy back in October of 2024 where that, like, went viral everywhere on the internet, where Asmongold was justifying killing Palestinians because they had an inferior culture. So, like, it's just not surprising that he has a take like this, and he's like, yeah, we should be committing more war crimes.
Care? You're doing it. Okay, that's the problem.
And why does he do that? Well, the answer is fairly simple. He's just a racist.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, like, routinely, Asmongold is a racist person on the channel. Yes, we know this.
Fundamentally, he views some groups of people as less worthy of life than others. Terrorism is okay when we do it, but when they even protest that terrorism, they deserve to die.
Why do you think they say death to America? Probably because you attacked them first? Well, damn, that's too bad. I guess we're going to have to attack them again.
We, Americans, and the Israelis, the inhabitants of our overseas proxy military colony, we have a right to live, and they do not. We have human rights, and they do not. We are human, and they are not. To quote Asmongold himself, it's really that simple.
It's that simple.
But for the opponents...
It's that simple. Everybody knows this. You know, I will say, one thing that's going to really hurt you, Noah Samson, is I feel like you could have shown a lot more examples of Asmongold being racist in this video. I think you could have easily pointed to a couple, and I'll just pull up a couple here because I do. There's a couple that I can find for you guys. That I would say it would just make your video a lot stronger if you did that. Yeah. So I reacted to this podcast already on the channel. If you guys are interested in reacting to the full reaction to the Caleb Hammer Asmongold podcast. It's on my channel. You guys could check it out if you want to. It's a bit of a long reaction, so if you want to kill some time, knock yourselves out. But this is just a segment at the timestamp 53:31 on this podcast, where Asmongold basically says he would rather have robots in this country than brown people, or illegal immigrants. So I'll just let the clip play.
Yeah.
I have to ask, though, if we don't have kids, if it keeps falling, are you completely against immigration? I don't know your take.
Well,
I'm curious.
No, robots. Replace people with robots, right?
Incredible. Wow. Replace every single brown person with robots. Incredible.
That's what I would say, right?
He's so racist.
Yeah.
Why?
Even his friend Rich Campbell calls him out for being racist. And they're both, like, I would say they're both close friends. So, like, even he's, like, saying, hey, this is kind of racist of you.
Here's the reason why. Because, like, so basically, if you have robots, I think that a lot of times that whenever you bring people in, what happens is that those people, obviously, like, you know, they're going to be from a totally different place, and they're going to change the place that they're coming to as well.
What?
Isn't
robots
some
are already coming over
immigration
from
good?
China.
Is what?
Isn't some immigration good?
And also, not only that, but, like, that's always what America has been about. America's always been about people from different cultures coming in and immigrating into a new culture. That's the whole point of immigration. That's literally the entire concept of immigration. I mean, by that fucking logic, the U.S. was built off of stolen land from Native Americans. A bunch of fucking Europeans came here, and they brought a totally different culture than what Native Americans had on this fucking land. You know, that by that logic, that's where your logic fucking falls apart. America is composed of different cultures. It was built off of being that. So again, the only justifier Asmongold really has here is that he has a problem with brown people coming into this country. That's really all this take comes down to.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not totally against it, right? I'm not. I just think that.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You're trying to set this whole thing where he's like, I'm not totally against people coming in here from different countries, just the brown people that come here. Like, this is a reasonability troll. You are against it.
Like, at a certain point, it becomes too much, right? And I think the main issue to me is the unfettered illegal version, right? I mean, like...
Yeah, we know it's not about illegal immigrants because, again, in my Zoran Mamdani video, where Zoran Mamdani had a white supremacist rally outside of the New York mansion that he resides in, Asmongold was basically saying that I don't care if Muslims came here legally or illegally, they should be hanging on the streets of New York and that they should all be fucking deported. That was his take. So, like, we know that you don't care about illegal immigration as an issue. Like, Asmongold will just bring this up as a virtue signal, just so he can have plausible deniability of not being a totally insane guy, but you are insane. You are MAGA. You're insane. Also, you look disgusting as fuck, dude. Jesus Christ. Fucking shower some more. And fucking, like, get some new fucking teeth, not ones that are completely rotted out. Jesus fuck, dude. Oh my god, this is we're supposed to listen to this guy on how we're supposed to take care of our country, and he can barely take care of himself? Jesus fuck, dude. Here's another one. You know, I found this screenshot from Reddit. On Twitter, Mehdi Hassan tweets out, you have Trump derangement syndrome, Piers. You have Trump denial syndrome. You say he's not racist, even though he calls Somali people low IQ. And then this is me to Piers Morgan. This is basically I guess, tweet that Mehdi Hassan put out. Asmongold responds to it by saying, he called them low IQ because the average IQ in Somalia is 68. Borderline R-worded. It's not racist. It's a fact. Another pathetic attempt to obscure reality to push a narrative. So, if you say that a certain group of people, a certain race of people, inherently has a lower IQ, that is racist. We're not even going to debate this. That is just an objectively racist thing to say. If you say black people have an inherently lower IQ, you're a racist person. If you hold that belief, you're racist. Like, done. That's it. Like, there's no conversation to have. Like, that's it. You are racist. This whole, it's not racist, it's a fact, is a dog whistle to your white supremacist, teeth-rotted audience. That's all it comes down to. So yeah, this is another racist thing. Here's another clip. Asmongold being fucking racist. I'll just let it play, just so you guys can listen to it.
Commercial treatment through DEI and affirmative action at the expense of white and Asian Americans. Socioeconomic conditions is a cope, and everyone knows it.
Yes, correct.
I mean, this is the Elon Musk style. No, they are genetically inferior, and socioeconomic conditions are a cope.
They are. It's a fact.
Wow.
Of course, we're going to be watching this.
So, if we go back in this video, the tweet that Hassan's reading, it's true that blacks experience systematic racism, they benefit from it. And when Hassan says Asmongold thinks that they're genetically inferior, this is what he has to say about it.
Economic conditions are a cope.
They are.
Sorry, hold on. Let me play it back further. I should actually include the full context. Sorry about that.
No, they are genetically inferior, and socioeconomic conditions are a cope.
They are. It's a fact.
Guys, black people are genetically inferior. Incredible. Thanks, Asmongold, for your lovely fucking rational wisdom. Thank you. Love that. I think you guys get the idea. You know, that was just 3 of many examples you could pull up. I'm sure if you dedicated an entire day to watching an Asmongold stream on Twitch, you could probably pull up more examples of him routinely just being racist to other people. Because Asmongold's a weird white supremacist freak, and he thinks that white people are the ultimate victim of society, which is a victim complex because white people have never been through any sort of systemic or systematic oppression in any meaningful way. So, I think you guys get the idea.
Of racist mass murder, it's not enough to just point to the double standard. Asmongold's position, while racist, is logically consistent because he's a racist. It's also not
I guess that's fair enough, yeah.
Not enough to point out the infinitely disproportionate nature of this violence. The fact that Israel has killed, at minimum, 10,000 times more people than Hamas did on October 7th is irrelevant to supporters of Israel. For them, it can all be explained by Hamas's lack of firepower. If they had the weapons Israel had, they'd do the same. Israel just had to kill tens of thousands of children, because, in a hypothetical I made up in a dream I had, they did the same to us. Israel had to, as Asmongold put it, nip it in the bud.
If you don't kill them, they will kill you. Now, they might not kill you today, but they'll kill you in a year.
I wonder why that is, Asmongold. Could it be the fact that these countries are constantly getting resources stolen from them and that they're constantly being oppressed, which is ultimately, if you're going to have more people next to you die, it's inevitably going to radicalize more and more people into becoming terrorists, and they're going to keep doing it over and over and over again? I wonder why it's so embedded into them for decades. I wonder why, Asmongold.
Kill you in 10 years.
I wonder if Asmongold has thought that far ahead. But, oh, wait, no, I forgot. Asmongold, he has goldfish memory. He can't think, like, fucking 20 seconds past himself. So, like, he'll say one thing, and then he'll say another thing, like, a minute later that completely contradicts that other thing he just said.
To the extent that they have the capacity to, they will use that capacity to harm you. So, my goal is always to nip it in the bud, stop it from happening, to even stop it from even beginning to happen.
No, the double standards and disproportionality are not enough. The only way to get to the bottom of this terrorism quandary is to find the inception point. Where does this all begin? And looking at the historical record, the answer is pretty clear. Before Hezbollah existed, Israel invaded Lebanon, killed tens of thousands of people, the vast majority of whom were women and children, directly facilitated the slaughter and rape of thousands of civilians in the Sabra and Shatila massacre, a massacre the United Nations General Assembly declared an act of genocide. Hezbollah was formed in response to this genocidal invasion, as a group resisting it, fighting to get Israel out of their country. And that's exactly what they did. Before Hamas existed, Israel stole Palestine. Between 1947...
I don't really know if I would go that far. I don't think Israel stole Palestine. I feel like... I think the language is a little bit intentional from Noah Samson. I don't fully agree that they stole Palestine. I think, well, listen, what happened was, you know, Jews, a lot of them were escaped the Holocaust after World War II. The British gave them land. I don't think it was right that they were given land, but that is what happened. They were given land, and then they stayed in Israel. Unfortunately, we are where we are now. Decades have passed. You know, that land is there now. It's the same logic with the U.S. Like, technically, the U.S. was from stolen land. But, like, centuries have passed. We are where we are now. We've built, like, we can't just suddenly, like, dissolve land and then just give it back to them, because then you displace more people that are living there. Like, we are where we are now. It happened. What needs to happen now, ultimately, is some form of a two-state solution between Palestine and Israel. Some, like, actual two-state solution. The temperature is too fucking high for either Palestine or Israeli civilians to coexist right now. And so, ultimately, a two-state solution is gonna be the ultimate thing that needs to happen. I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon under Netanyahu, because he constantly is killing Palestinian civilians. And, like, frankly, I think what needs to happen is Palestinians need to receive the better end of the deal. Israel should pay reparations to Palestine, along with the U.S. for getting involved and constantly funding Israel, which ultimately is going to fund more which is ultimately going to give them more weapons, and that's the U.S.'s contribution to what's happening in the Israel-Palestine conflict. So, I think that that's what needs to happen more than anything, but I'll let you guys make your own conclusions on that. So I like I said, I wouldn't say that like Israel was built they didn't steal the land. It's just it wasn't right that the English basically gave them land after World War II was over.
In 1949, Zionist forces destroyed some 530 villages, and about 15,000 Palestinians were killed in a series of mass atrocities, including scores of massacres. 750,000 Palestinians, over 80% of the Arab population of what became Israel, were ethnically cleansed. This event, the Nakba, and all of the violence in its wake, this is the inception point. Regardless of the label you use to describe these groups, the moral calculus doesn't change. Resisting invasion, occupation, and genocide through armed struggle is moral and just and legal under international law, and it should not be condemned. Your own personal feelings towards the methods are irrelevant. They do not matter, not when you live in the West and not in Palestine. And
I suppose so. I don't know. I mean, like I said, we have seen Noah Samson, like, come gargle, like, terrorism and Hamas before. So, like, not for nothing, Noah Samson, you have whitewashed them before. I don't know. Like, I do agree with, like, I would say the general sentiment of Noah Samson's video, even though normally Noah Samson's not really good when it comes to anything. The general sentiment, like, is true. Like, it is, like, ultimately what's fucking happening there is, like, absolutely terrible and inexcusable.
Especially not when those objections are weaponized as the pretext for genocide, which is what Asmongold demonstrates in his video here. So, as I said at the start, Asmongold is one of the most widely viewed live streamers on YouTube. He gets millions of views per day, several times more than any other political live streamers in most news channels. And when these millions of viewers click onto his show, this is what they are greeted with: terrorist propaganda.
Israel should keep bombing Lebanon because Lebanon has terrorists in it. They have Hezbollah in it.
Profoundly ignorant, factually incorrect, and morally demented propaganda for
which part was it?
Hezbollah in it.
profound
Keep bombing Lebanon because Lebanon has terrorists in it. They have Hezbollah in it.
Well, much like Israel, which I would argue the Israeli government is also terrorists to some extent, I would argue, Asmongold, that Lebanon also has civilians in it. Israel has civilians in it as well. So does Lebanon. You know, keep bombing Lebanon. This is, like, again, this is what I'm talking about. This is just Asmongold being fucking pro-Trump on everything and, like, constantly just, like, resorting to violence as a result. Asmongold doesn't fucking care about civilians dying. He doesn't give a fuck about terrorism. Because he's justifying terrorism on them. He doesn't care. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Asmongold doesn't care about any of this. He just says things. He just wants more violence as long as it's Trump doing it.
Profoundly ignorant, factually incorrect, and morally demented propaganda for U.S.-Israeli terrorism. I don't know how convincing any of his videos are, you know, arguing that terrorism is okay when we do it because we're the good guys. It's not as compelling to the average person as it might have been 20 years ago.
Well, I guess it's compelling to enough people on Twitter that they really enjoy Asmongold as a person.
When we have access to live footage.
Like, unironically, I got a YouTube comment. I didn't respond to it, because I try not to respond to every single YouTube comment. It's, like, not worth it, because I get a lot... like, every time I criticize Asmongold, I get a lot of fucking troglodytes in my comments, and a lot of Twitter-brained, thick-skulled idiots in my comments trying to, like, defend Asmongold or call me, like, a cringe lefty, and then they resort to saying slurs to me. It is what it is. Like, that's just... It comes with the territory, so it's... I'm not... Like, it's fine. But, like, literally, unironically, someone was like, you think watching Asmongold is a bad thing, lol. And I'm like, that tells me everything I need to know about you as a person. You are fucking Twitter brain-rotted by Asmongold. You are, like, terminally online Twitter brain-rotted by this guy. You fell for the propaganda
of the reality of what that terrorism results in every day, and our governments can't keep it under wraps. This channel is just a place people can go to have their feelings of racist bloodlust validated.
Yeah, I mean, that's generally why, because Asmongold's channel in general nowadays is just a safe space for a lot of, like, weird MAGA and or white supremacists to exist in his channel. It's a safe space where white supremacists can be their hateful self, essentially, in the stream. Asmongold's provided a safe space for it, and that's just where his audience is right now. It's not like the good old World of Warcraft days where Asmongold could just, you know, game and just talk about a World of Warcraft game and talk about different things about that game. It's not like that anymore. I wish it was, man, because I imagine Asmongold once upon a time was actually a fun streamer to watch. I'm sure for a lot of these people he was, like, fun during his World of Warcraft days. And now he's just, like, a fucking white supremacist with a victim complex that is, like, so Twitter-brained. It's honestly sad, if anything, how much he's fallen.
It's a safe
I guess the numbers-wise, he hasn't fallen, but, like, fucking morally, he has fallen, like, heavily. He is fried.
space. But if there is anyone watching that wants to actually engage with the facts critically, I would encourage them to consult any of the resources on screen now.
That's too much work for Asmongold. He's only going to use Twitter as his source. Like, it's the least amount of effort for him.
Goes for Asmongold too. Read any of these reports on your stream if you want to leave your echo chamber for a moment and contend with the fact that you are supporting terrorism when you say stuff like this. I personally don't think he'll do that, but you know, I figured I'd ask anyways, just in case. Stranger things have happened. But anyway.
Whoa, Stranger Things? You like the show?
Anyways, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. Join my Patreon if you enjoyed it, and also if you don't want to have to hear me talk about people like Asmongold ever again. If I get enough patrons, I'll be able to do that. Okay, bye.
No. I would argue that calling out Asmongold's super important nowadays. But, even though I don't like Noah Samson, that was, I would say, overall a solid video. And, I mean, yeah, like I said, Asmongold's pretty racist. So now we've got Asmongold's reaction to this video. We've watched Asmongold's reactions to things before. We saw it with Birdman, we saw it with a bunch of other people. What I imagine this reaction is going to be is it's just going to be Asmongold pre-watches this, because we know how Asmongold operates. He never blindly reacts to things. He always pre-watches his reaction beforehand, and then he comes up with the what in his mind is the best talking point against whatever he's reacting to. And it's probably just going to be whatever Israel is doing is good, and, you know, all these third worlders full of brown people, what they're doing is not good, because Trump said so, and because I'm a racist piece of shit. That is most likely what this video is going to be, I imagine, but, there's only one way to find out.
So, apparently, an individual...
So, apparently, guys, I totally didn't pre-watch this video or anything. Why are you pretending like this is the first time you're watching?
Made a video about me. His name is Noah Samson. The video is called Asmongold's Terrorist Propaganda. We're gonna take a look and we're gonna watch this. This is the guy, by the way, he already is being sued by Ethan, and he did some stream to beg for money, but I guess this is what another one is, right?
Yeah, what's better than one lawsuit? Two, I guess. Whoa, Asmongold taking the Ethan Klein route.
You should sue him,
I guess.
Like Ethan? Well, I don't know what he's saying. We're gonna find out. Let's
He knows what he's saying. He pre-watched this video, so he knows.
watch it. Here we go. I'm absolutely picking a side. Like, if I have to pick, like, I would pick Israel over Iran every day of the week. Like, I know that people have, like, this Israel fatigue and they hate Israel, but yeah, anybody who doesn't want you to do that is probably listening to terrorist propaganda. That's the reason why. Absolutely.
This is Asmongold. Asmongold is one of the most viewed
Asmongoldfish, baby.
live streamers in the world. With a daily viewership of over 5 million viewers, this is roughly 10 times the viewership of CNN. And apparently, Asmongold is concerned with peace in the Middle East. How does he...
I'm actually concerned with killing all terrorists in the Middle East, which will have the long-term result of peace. But the primary goal is killing all of the terrorists.
Okay, I guess nothing to say when we, you know, terrorize other countries, when Israel is occupying illegal territory in the West Bank and into Lebanon as well, as we've been hearing. And also nothing to say about all the January 6ers, which if you attended January 6th and you stormed the Capitol on that day, you are anti-American and you are a traitor to America. And you are, I would say, by every fucking definition in the book, a terrorist. I guess nothing to say about that. You know, it's interesting because, like, a couple of years ago, back when the January 6th attacks did happen, Asmongold actually had a very normal take about it, surprisingly. He actually was willing to condemn all J6ers. Like, Asmongold once upon a time was, like, I guess, somewhat of a normal conservative, but now he's, I mean, like, he is long past normal for a while now, as we all know.
Primarily the ones that are running Iran and the ones that are being funded by Iran in places like Gaza, Lebanon, and Yemen.
He proposed to achieve this peace? Well, with bombs.
I think, yeah, blow them up.
Bombs.
Exactly. Israel should keep bombing Lebanon because Lebanon has terrorists in it. They have Hezbollah in it, and again, they're firing rockets into Israel. They are. Lebanon, by the way, Israel and Lebanon just came out with an agreement. Yesterday, they came out with an agreement that Lebanon is going to work with Israel to help get rid of Hezbollah.
Oh, well, that's nice, I guess.
The Lebanese president, Justifies, says the framework agreement is signed with Israel is the first step towards restoring Lebanon's sovereignty after the war between Israel and Hezbollah. So
Cool, I guess. That doesn't necessarily change that, you know, Israel is still illegally occupying territory in both the West Bank and towards Lebanon, and Israel in general is just making these countries, it's peace by submission, basically. So it doesn't really change the fact that Israel is going to war everywhere and that we're still going to war unprovoked against all of these other countries. So even though they're working out a peace agreement, it also doesn't change the fact that a lot of these attacks that we're doing could also radicalize more people into becoming terrorists, as we've already brought up earlier in this video.
So the only person who disagrees with this actually is Noah here. Israel agrees with getting rid of Hezbollah. Lebanon agrees with getting rid of Hezbollah. A lot of the Lebanese citizens agree with getting rid of Hezbollah. America certainly agrees with it. But for Noah...
I mean, they agree with it for all the wrong reasons. We all know that Trump is, like, constantly trying to get us into war. Mainly, one, because of their resources, and two, because of Epstein. You know, Donald Trump has been trying to create as much controversy as he can to distract from the fact that he probably raped kids on Epstein Island.
This is somehow a problem. They're firing rockets and I hope he kills every single fucking one of the Hezbollah members in Lebanon.
Absolutely.
Every single fucking one. Only then will the people there have peace.
On his June 14th live stream,
Is this upsetting for you? You're playing my greatest hits. That's exactly what I think.
Asmongold advocated for the continuation of Israel's bombing campaign in Lebanon. And in the same stream,
It's happening. Israel is bombing Lebanon for no reason. There's no
Wait, what?
reason that Israel is bombing Lebanon at all. They just decided one day, you know what? We're gonna go and bomb them for nothing. They got bored.
he also
Yeah, Asmongold. I mean, like, we can agree that terrorist groups are bad, but, like, yeah, like, we are generally unprovoked by a lot of these fucking groups, and we're just going to war with them because Israel said we should go to war with them. Yeah.
advocated against a peace agreement to end the U.S. and Israel's war on Iran.
Absolutely. I think that we need to remove the IRGC and we need to completely dismantle them in all facets and all facilities. Islamic terrorism is an existential threat across the Middle East and also globally the world. Iran.
Okay, I guess nothing to say about the terrorists on January 6th, nothing to say about the domestic terrorist organization that's ICE, nothing to say about... Here's the take that Asmongold is going to give consistently throughout this entire video. Asmongold is basically going to say that October 7th happened, which is terrible, obviously. October 7th happened, and Israel, because of October 7th, can do whatever they want to Palestine and to Lebanon. They can do, or Iran. They can do, like, Israel can do whatever the hell they want to these other countries, whenever they want, and however long they want to do it. And these terrorist groups can't, respond in any way possible, and that's just not allowed. That's basically going to be the take that we're going to see throughout this entire video. I mean, it's just... okay. I mean, like, I don't really have much to say to that. I mean, that's Asmongold's take, you know? It's okay when we do it, it's not okay when brown people do it, basically. That's just all this is. So I feel like Asmongold doesn't really give a fuck about anything that he's saying here.
Iran is the nexus of that, and if we dismantle Iran, we also dismantle the funding propagation for their other proxies and also propaganda that Noah has probably listened to enough and now he's agreed with. Now he's making a video promoting more of it. It's exactly what I think.
I mean, ultimately, Noah Samson is going to take a bit of an L here just because Noah Samson is... like, historically, when he has covered, like, the YouTubers that backed a genocide, which was a notoriously awful video, slandering Ethan Klein and a bunch of other YouTubers for saying that they agree with the genocide that's going on in Israel. And that's actually the main reason why he's in the lawsuit with Ethan, the defamation suit to begin with. The main reason why, like, that's just not, like, ultimately Noah's going to take an L out for it is because, generally speaking, he has denied and sympathized with a lot of the terrorist groups in these countries of Palestine and a lot of other Middle Eastern countries, like Hezbollah and such. So he has sympathized with them more, which is a little bit, I think it's one thing to, like, understand and maybe sympathize with the fact that, like, yeah, more young people are going to get radicalized into becoming terrorists when they're constantly exposed to violence and they're constantly exposed to Israel and the US and other countries attacking their countries and indiscriminately killing them. It's good to sympathize with it, but it's also equally as important to acknowledge that their war crimes are also not as good either. Unfortunately, Asmongold is on the extreme end of the other side, where he thinks that we should just be bombing these people indiscriminately because Asmongold just is a inherently very violent individual, and he just thinks that violence is going to be the answer to everything. So, okay, dude. I mean, like, you can't really, like, Asmongold wants you to get an outrageous reaction, and I'm just not going to give it to him because that's what Asmongold wants. You have to just look at Asmongold and go, no, you're actually kind of a dumbass, and you just move on. Can't really give him that reaction.
Piece of the Ron, they no longer consider us a mortal enemy. Why is that not an acceptable outcome to you? Because they're not. They're just going to lie to you. They're ideologically captured. They're religious zealots, and they can't be allowed to be trusted. They've already broken too many deals before. They've lied too many times.
Asmongold's argument.
It's interesting because if if we said this about Christianity or God, MAGA would purity test the fuck out of him. So, another more cognitive dissonance from Asmongold, I guess.
For the continued bombing of Iran and Lebanon is that in order to achieve peace, we must get rid of the terrorists. Hezbollah
That's correct.
is a terrorist group, so he says, and Iran...
Well, they are a terrorist group, Noah. That's another thing that he is going to take an L on in this video. Asmongold's probably going to look better in this point, ultimately, even if Asmongold is a horrendous human being.
So I say, they say that they're a terrorist group. See, Noah is trying to, right now, he's trying to soften the image of a group of people who have openly called for genociding all of the Jews. They use the Lebanese people as human shields while they fire rockets from apartment buildings into Israel so they can martyr their own people.
You're the same guy that also sympathizes with Nick Fuentes, who also equally hates Jewish people. He just pretends to sound more reasonable at it. You also side with Sam Hyde, who also hates Jewish people. You constantly, like, parrot white supremacist talking points that don't really care about Jewish people and actively hate these groups of people. So I don't know if you actually care about this point. I think that what Asmongold's doing here, he's virtue signaling to his audience to try to sound like the better guy. But, like, in reality, Asmongold doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't care. The reality is, like, yeah, Asmongold is a white supremacist, and we've also heard Asmongold himself back in the, when I reacted to his reaction to Birdman, he, like, gave a white supremacist dog whistle by separating Jewish people from white people. So he doesn't care about this point at all.
So
it's fucking incredible.
Cards like Noah...
I mean, ultimately, he's probably going to look better than Noah Samson in this clip anyways, because Noah Samson is, like, actively whitewashing Hezbollah, but still...
Samson are going to make videos talking about how horrible it is and take the side of literal terrorists.
Funds them, ergo...
It's just that ultimately Asmongold hates brown people more than Jewish people, even if Asmongold has given white supremacist dog whistles against Jewish people in the past, and has sympathized with people who hate Jewish people too.
We have to bomb the terrorists.
That's exactly correct. And kill every single one of them. And also their funders. And to a certain degree, their collaborators and supporters. This was their leader.
So I guess, again, nothing to say about the terrorist groups that are white, I suppose. Nothing to say about them.
Is this Hassan Nasrallah? The nuclear bomb I'm talking about is when a couple of our missiles falling on an ammonium warehouse in Haifa's pool. Haifa is in Israel, by the way, which will lead to the same effect of that as a nuclear bomb. When the missiles fall on the warehouses in an area with a population of 800,000, tens of thousands will die. This is the... And by the way, he's dead now.
Okay, I guess.
I can't believe
Oh, gotta get Hassan in here as well, I suppose.
I'm calling Nasrallah base. I mean,
Guess it wouldn't be an Asmongold video without the Hassan fucking shit for the millionth time.
listen.
Nobody gives a fuck about this guy. No one cares about Hassan anymore. Like, Hassan is a fucking lolcow. No one cares about him.
You have to remember, a lot of these dudes, you see them in their fucking fits, and you hear about like some of their attitudes about like gay people, for example, and you immediately fucking resort to Orientalist perspectives, not realizing that these motherfuckers are better read than you by a million. Okay.
Okay, I don't know about that one, Hassan. That's insane. Fucking Hassan is like actually whitewashing like a terrorist like here, okay? Yeah, alright, we get it, Asmongold. Hassan's bad. Yep, we get it.
It's actually true. And you know who else was? The Nazis. The Nazis were extremely intelligent and very well educated, but that doesn't make them right.
Half of these
Then why the fuck do you constantly parade behind Nazi talking points all the time in your stream? And constantly parade behind white supremacist fucking rhetoric on your stream? You're not really that different, Asmongold. The only difference is that the Nazis were killing people. You advocate to kill people. You may not have killed anybody yourself, Asmongold, but you certainly are totally okay with violence happening to other people.
dudes literally get educated in America and in the UK. What the fuck are you guys?
I love how he says that as if that's not the problem. Like, exactly. We need to stop letting terrorists come over here.
So ultimately, he is regarded as a pretty brilliant person in terms of like.
He's dead now, by the way.
Everything that he's done. You might not agree
he's a
with
really
his
smart
methods.
guy.
You might not agree with his attitude overall in terms of like his opinions on civil liberties and shit like that. But ultimately, this motherfucker has read a shit ton of books.
I just showed a video of this person saying that he wanted to target and blow up tens of thousands of people. This isn't a theoretical projection. This is literally what they say. This is a designated terrorist group, and we just played a clip of them saying how they wanted to commit terrorism at a mass scale. It's not a question about this. It's obvious. They said it clearly. You tell your argument.
Well, yeah, but again, we also are bombing other countries indiscriminately. You know, not that long ago, Trump made an assault on Venezuela, and he was pretending that we were doing it to get rid of the big bad Maduro. And yeah, Maduro was bad, but we obviously know that's not really the reason why Trump assaulted on Venezuela. He was doing it because oil and Jeffrey Epstein. Distracting from Jeffrey Epstein. Every big controversy is a distraction. That's all it is. Don't stop talking about the fucking Epstein files. President Trump will not release them, and him and his DOJ are actively choosing not to release it when we were promised that we would get them unredacted. They're way overdue on releasing them because they want to cover up Trump's insane fucking crimes.
Are you consider them terrorists? Because they fund people that attack and kill civilians on purpose and target civilians to kill them? Yes. In order to achieve political goals. Groups like Hezbollah and the Houthis and Hamas. It's that simple.
There are a few issues with his analysis here, though. First among them is the premise. Asmongold repeats the IDF's line that they are targeting
The IDF's line.
Hezbollah in Lebanon, but that's not what's actually happening. What the evidence shows is that targeting Hezbollah is just a pretext, one that Israel uses to blow up everything in sight and mass murder civilians.
All Israel wants to do is blow up all of the civilians. And then why would Lebanon be trying to sign a deal with them to get rid of Hezbollah?
I don't fucking know. Probably because Hezbollah, or I guess Lebanon, like, got beaten into submission to be forced into a fucking peace deal so Israel wouldn't attack them. In case you don't know, Israel is probably the most sophisticated and the more powerful Middle Eastern country that exists currently. They're way more powerful than Lebanon is, certainly. So, yeah, a big bad fucking government constantly sending in the military to attack them indiscriminately. Yeah, Asmongold, that's most likely why. Like, I feel like that would be the most obvious fucking outcome here.
This is actually true, then why would Lebanon be trying to work with them? Doesn't that not make sense?
Okay, this is an actual fucking dumbass take. Like, that's all this is. It's just a fucking low IQ take. Asmongold applied literally no brain power when he was saying any of this.
It's so
And his chat's probably just eating it up blindly, and because they don't really apply any brain power to anything.
dishonest. It's so stupid.
Hospitals, ambulances, they are leveling entire...
The reason why they're doing ambulances is because they use the ambulances to transport military goods.
They're also routinely using white phosphorus indiscriminately and in civilian residential areas. These are all war crimes. In just the past 4 months, Israel
By the way, Hezbollah doesn't want to do any war crimes. They just want to do another Holocaust.
has killed nearly 4,000 people in Lebanon, including hundreds of children and healthcare workers.
4,000 people. Can you imagine how many Hezbollah would kill if they could? And also, why would Hezbollah, think about it like this, right? Why would Hezbollah fire rockets from a residential area if they didn't want to have any sort of return fire?
This is exactly what I thought this reaction was going to turn out to be. It's just basically, October 7th happened. Israel can respond in any way they want. They can do it for however long they want, and they can constantly just use October 7th as a justifier, even if the response turns super disproportionate. They're allowed to respond that way, and they can't. And all these other countries outside of Israel are not allowed to do anything about it. That's basically going to be the take that Asmongold is going to have here. That's ultimately what it is. It's a fucking, like, there's no nuance to it in any way whatsoever. It's just very one-sided.
Why wouldn't you fire a rocket from like a open field?
There's no nuance, there's no brain power, there's nothing. It's just, he's just talking. He's a fucking talking head.
Or at least do it from an area that's farther away from the civilians. The reason why they're firing rockets from residential areas is so they can martyr these people. They're using these people as human shields and getting them killed and martyring them for a jihad. And you're eating it up and thinking that this is a good thing. Using ambulance to transport military personnel is a war crime. They don't care about war crimes. They are literal psychopathic terrorists that are killing their own people.
On average, Israeli forces have killed more than one child every day since April. On October 3rd, 2024, Israel bombed a medical center in Beirut, killing 9 people and injuring 14. 7 of those killed were members of the medical staff.
All of this is just emotional slop bullshit. Hezbollah wants to operate as a paramilitary organization with impunity from the government.
Why the fuck is, like, killing healthcare workers and civilians emotional slop? The fuck? Why is that slop? Didn't earlier in this video you show us a clip of a terrorist basically justifying killing tens of thousands of fucking people, and you portrayed that as bad? You obviously set the standard that, like, killing those civilians is bad, but now all of a sudden, like, when we talk about killing civilians in Palestine or in Lebanon and in other Middle Eastern countries, that's emotional slop now. What the fuck is this?
They want to be the government. They want to use these people as human shields, get people killed for international clout. That's what they want to do. And you are eating it up like a retard.
It's still not a justifier for Israel to be disproportionately attacking them, knowing that they're using humans as shields. It's still, like, you're kind of just using this as like a justification to say, yeah, you know what, honestly, fuck it. It's emotional slop, who cares? Fuck them civilians. It's basically what Asmongold is saying here.
Destroyed a significant portion of an entire city, Tyre, one of the oldest cities in the world. They damaged over 400 apartments, completely destroyed several buildings, and
this is the problem, is that he frames everything as if this is just a random attack. It's happening because Israel is getting bombed. They're shooting missiles over to Israel. The only reason why Israel doesn't look like this is because they built the Iron Dome.
Whoa. Guess it's good that they don't have the Iron Dome then.
Israel didn't have the Iron Dome, Israel would look like this and worse.
Demolished a number of ancient historical sites. On March 12th, 2026, Israel bombed a beachside tent encampment housing people that they had displaced from their bombings, killing 8 and wounding 31. The strike came in the middle of the night, and it was a double tap strike. The first missile landed and killed 3 people near the beach, and when people approached to help the victims, the second missile landed. No evacuation warning was issued. This was in a safe zone. In all of these examples of mass civilian death and destruction, what did Israel say it was doing? It said it was targeting Hezbollah. This is their pretext, and Asmongold is repeating it uncritically. And the same...
No, I'm repeating it because it's true. Whenever Israel and Lebanon, the Lebanon government, came to an agreement, this was yesterday, a bunch of the Lebanese terrorists, Hezbollah, are going out there protesting against this agreement.
The same is true of Asmongold's endorsement of Israel's stated goal of eliminating Hamas. That may
I want them to kill every single one of them. That's exactly what I want.
Be what Israel says it's doing, but in reality, what Israel's actually...
There's people that are going to be killed in the collateral damage. That's what's going to happen. That's what happens in every single war. It happened in World War II. If the people didn't...
So, got it. So it's totally fine, and we can just totally fucking hand wave committing war crimes, basically. Cool. Amazing take, Asmongold. Such a well thought out, rational, centrist take of you. Totally.
want that, they shouldn't be shooting rockets from the apartment buildings. Of course that's what's going to happen.
I say centrist because Asmongold used to pose as a centrist, but, like, we know now he's just a MAGA channel. He's, like, basically a figurehead for MAGA.
Doing in Gaza.
And, like, he's made it abundantly clear that he is MAGA.
Is killing entire families by leveling apartment blocks. The vast majority of the people that Israel has killed in Gaza have been civilians. That is the conclusion of every
He's just totally okay with that, I guess.
independent expert. The only ones...
Because any people that go over there have to be pressured by the terrorists, because if they don't repeat the terrorist propaganda, the terrorists kill them. Protests against Hamas broke out in Gaza after terrorists and their supporters held a funeral for one of the recently eliminated Hamas commanders. They keep saying that, like, oh wow, like this is their freedom fighters, they're fighting for these people. Well, not these people. This isn't the first time. The last time they did this, they killed the organizers. So you have to look at, like, these people right here, and I'm not trying to, like, glaze or anything, are some of the most profoundly brave people that you're seeing in the world right now. This is on the same level as, like, the Iranians that were protesting against their government. These people are stuck between truly a rock and a hard place. They have Israel that's bombing the fuck out of them, and they have fucking Hamas that's being empowered by Iran that's oppressing the fuck out of them in their own country. And they're the ones that are being used as human shields so Hamas can look like they're being victims whenever they use these people as collateral damage. I think everybody should support these people. And they did vote in Hamas. Palestine voted in Hamas 20 years ago. Think about what the Democratic Party was 20 years ago. Think about what it is now. Shit changes.
Why even bring up the Democrats at all? What the fuck does the... What does that even mean? What do the Democrats have to do with this?
And I think these people are realizing it.
Still denying it in 2026 are Israel and the United States and the content creators online that defend them for some reason still. And as for Asmongold's...
I don't care about what Israel's doing. If Syria was doing this, I'd be happy if Syria was doing it. If Saudi Arabia was doing this, I'd be happy if Saudi Arabia was doing it.
Why Saudi Arabia? You know, the same country that fucking, like, criticizing the government is punishable by death. Being gay is punishable by death in Saudi Arabia. They're extraordinarily regressive. I guess maybe as it makes sense for Asmongold to have some positive sentiment to Saudi Arabia, considering Trump is on friendly terms with the royalty of Saudi, as he met up with the royalty of Saudi at some point in 2025. So I guess it makes sense for someone like Asmongold to go, actually, Saudi Arabia is... What they're doing is good. Everything that Saudi Arabia is doing is good.
If Azerbaijan was doing it, I'd be happy that they were doing it. The goal is removing these terrorist cells from the Middle East so everybody else can live there without worrying about being killed or martyred for their holy war. That's the main goal.
Claim about the United States. The same goes for them. Firstly, because they supply the vast majority of the weapons that Israel has used to commit its genocide, but they also do murderous bombing campaigns themselves. In the first week of the war, the United States blew up an Iranian elementary school. Asmongold has apparently consulted the history books and feels vindicated by them.
Every single page of the history book proves me right.
But I'm not sure which ones he read, because if you look back at any point, you will find the United States committing these same kinds of atrocities across the globe for their wars of aggression. The other
Absolutely. And I totally support it. Pay $1 trillion for this military, and I want to stomp out every terrorist piece of shit in the world. It's exactly right. You are exactly right.
Issue with Asmongold's analysis here is the presence of that word terrorism. What makes someone a terrorist? Well, for Asmongold, terrorism is defined as the use of violence against civilians for political goals.
Because they fund people that attack and kill civilians on purpose and target civilians to kill them in order to achieve political goals.
A part of his definition for terrorism is the inability to abide by the terms of agreements.
If we are signing a deal with the Islamic Republic of Iran, we are just delaying this war until later on. This is correct.
Okay, well, again, we fucking Iran was adhering to the nuclear deal, and Trump was the one in his first term that decided to back out of the nuclear deal. and then they were enriching uranium 3 years later. So again, I don't know what the fuck we're on about here.
Correct. That's what I
It was Trump that like gave a hard no to it for some fucking reason.
think. I think that as long as these people are in power, you are going to, like, they're not going to stop trying to build a nuclear bomb. Iran will continue to build, and they will continue to cause aggression towards the West, towards the United States, and towards Western interests. And
Pretty sure Trump pulling out of the nuclear deal when Iran was cooperating had something to do with that, Asmongold.
they will continue to make everything cost more money until they are stopped.
Of course he's not gonna, he's so predictable. Of course he's not gonna fucking say anything about that. He's not gonna bring up that context. It's so convenient for him.
That is correct. Like, I think that this is what's likely to happen. They will just blow something else up in a week. They will. It's going to keep happening.
But, and I know this reveal is probably so surprising, Israel and the United States do both of those things all the time. They do it by killing civilians, as we just looked at, and funding and arming and supporting governments that mass murder civilians.
Watch. Asmongold's gonna completely fucking glaze the US and Israel after this. Watch.
In campaigns of genocide. But they also
I wonder why they did that. I wonder why they bombed those areas. Maybe because there are terrorists shooting missiles into Israel.
What did I fucking tell you? He's so predictable. What did I fucking tell you? Oh, man.
Here's a bit of advice. Stop shooting missiles into the country that can level your entire city. If Mexico...
Well, Israel does have control over how proportionate of a response they can give back to these other countries. They are the more powerful country than they are.
Shot missiles into Texas, whatever city did that would be leveled overnight. If, you know, some other country near China shot missiles into Beijing, that country and that city would be leveled overnight. I don't want to hear about this. This is the reality. I don't really care what Israel is doing, because Israel isn't the one that are blowing up our trade ships and disrupting trade in the Strait of Hormuz. That's Iran and the Houthis. They're the ones that are doing this. So fundamentally, why would I want to engage with any of these people at all? This guy sounds like he should leave the USA if he even believes what he says. Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think that we have a massive Terry problem.
That's a fucking dumb argument. Okay, so why doesn't MAGA or any right-winger that has Biden derangement syndrome, or like, why didn't you leave under Biden then? You see how fucking dumb of an argument that is? Like, it's like, I feel like only idiots give that fucking argument. Jesus Christ. It's so stupid.
Have a gigantic Terry problem. I don't care who's blowing up who in the Middle East and who's right and who's wrong. The only goal that I care about is making sure that every terrorist in that country that can put the United States and the United States interests at risk is dead. I don't care what Israel is doing, if it's good or bad. It's not relevant to me because it's happening on the other side of the world. But what I do really care about is whenever Iran is funding groups of people that are going around and bombing and attacking our ships. That's what I care about. Whenever those same people attack America, they chant death to America, and they constantly fund people that try to put American interests at risk and kill Americans, then it becomes a problem. This is in 2012, just because a movie distributed in the US threatening a terrorist attack. What is this here? Can I pull it up?
The big picture on those Muslim protests around the world. Today, the biggest demonstration so far, incited by a longtime American adversary.
Good evening, Diane. The protest here in Beirut today was...
Whoa, good evening, Diane. Hey, Diane, giving you my daily report. I'm fucking Dale Cooper from Twin Peaks. Hey, Diane.
bigger than anything
I still have to see the movie and the revival series at some point.
we've seen so far anywhere in the region or beyond. It was organized by the powerful militant group Hezbollah, whose leader had a very stark warning for America. A massive show of anger today. Everyone from Boy Scouts to clerics poured into the streets. Then a surprise, a rare public appearance by the leader of Hezbollah, the militant group with the real power.
All of the people in these positions, by the way, are all dead. They're all dead. Us and Israel have killed all of them.
He's called the film, which mocks the Prophet Muhammad, the worst insult to Islam ever. And today warned that if the U.S. doesn't move to ban the film, there will be very serious repercussions against the U.S. around the world.
This is what they want to do. This is exactly what they want to do.
It's interesting because if the if the role was reversed and this was like a thing about Christianity and God, like Asmongold would be like fucking praising it. So it's very interesting. The cognitive dissonance again. He only cares because it's a bunch of fucking brown people doing it.
Inside the U.S. Embassy here tonight, reports they're shredding classified documents because of the protest.
Also, Asmongold's chat is as lovely as ever about these topics. Very, very sane and rational chat that Asmongold has cultivated in his community.
The anger in this rally goes well beyond the film. The chants of death to America, evidence of the fury against an American government that allows...
And you want me to feel sorry for these people?
Do you believe that people should have the freedom of speech, freedom to do whatever they want?
Yeah, but not when it comes to religion.
There were anti-film protests in at least 7 other countries today, including Indonesia, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Yemen, and the West Bank. But elsewhere, the protests...
All countries compromised by Iran, by the way.
The attack that killed 4 Americans, including the ambassador. As for the ambassador...
See that? See, they do kill us. They kill American citizens.
No sign the anger is going away. Hezbollah has issued a call for 4 more protests around the country this week, and the U.S. is bracing for more elsewhere as well.
I can agree with Noah about everything about Israel. I don't care about Israel. That's not my problem.
To do it by breaking ceasefires and peace agreements. The most recent example is, starting a war. They started the war and lost, mind you. That's Wikipedia official now. They attacked...
Oh my god. I don't know why Asmongold's cringing at this part. We are losing against Iran. We were losing. So did the fucking Israel. And also doesn't help that Israel is constantly surrounded by countries that don't like Israel. Some of those reasons are valid. Others not so much.
It's Wikipedia official now. Okay, well that settles it then.
What's wrong with Wikipedia?
Yeah, Wikipedia co-founder Larry Sanger has been permanently banned from editing the site. Sanger called the reason for the ban lies and misrepresentations.
Okay. Okay, so based on some research, Larry Sanger was banned from Wikipedia because, to my understanding, it seems like he was trying to brigade Wikipedia with other sources outside of Wikipedia to make Wikipedia's portrayal of information, the way he sees it, more, I guess, open. And it seems like his politics, he's, like, more conservative-leaning. So I guess maybe there was, like, worry that, like, some disinformation might have been able to pass through, potentially. I don't know the extent of how far right or how far to the right Larry Sanger is, necessarily. But to my understanding, it seems like he is not particularly I don't know. It seems like a valid reason, but then again, I don't know how far right Larry Sanger is. But it seems like he was trying to brigade Wikipedia. That seems to be, like, the cliff notes of it.
These people control apparatuses of communication, and then they use those apparatuses as evidence for the reasons why they're right. The guy was based as fuck? Yes. Why don't you show why Americans could care? Just grok the money that comes from GCC countries? Well, yeah, I mean, we have billions of dollars invested into the Gulf countries. We do. And we also have to spend billions of dollars every year on countermeasures because of Iranians' proxies.
Iran first, unprovoked. There wasn't a war, and then there was.
That's right.
Because the United States and Israel attacked. And the whole reason there's...
That's right. And I think we should finish the job and kill everybody in the IRGC. It's very simple. Actually.
Even a need for ceasefire.
It's just so, like, it's just so fucking boring. At a certain point, you get, like, so desensitized to Asmongold's constant calls to violence against these other countries. It just gets to be so fucking, like... It's desensitizing at this point. It's just like, you would only have a take of constantly wanting to fuck up these countries and resorting to violence in every scenario. It doesn't matter what the nuance is. You would only have a take like this if you want to, if you are just so fucking disconnected from the rest of the world and you're just, like, so Twitter brain. That's the only way you would have this take, is when you're, like, wanting to resort to violence every single time without fail, regardless of the nuance.
Negotiations in the first place is because they attacked. Another important example here is the Iran nuclear deal. Despite observations from independent experts that Iran was abiding by the terms of the agreement, it was
Why are you citing the IAEA whenever this is what he was just citing here? Why would you cite the IAEA?
So this is the only thing, like, this is actually kind of funny to me. because, like, it is factually true that Iran was adhering to the nuclear deal, and then Trump was the one that pulled out. It's very interesting because Asmongold knows, like, Asmongold pre-watches this video. Every single video that Asmongold watches on his channel or reacts to, he always pre-watches it beforehand, and then he prepares his talking points in advance. And the best talking point was him basically not being able to come up with a proper talking point against this. So the only way he can attack this is by just attacking the source, even though the portrayal of information in the source that he's attacking is correct. So it's very interesting that Asmongold could not prepare a talking point to that, even when he pre-watched it.
Whenever the IAEA also detected that Iran had uranium that was enriched at 60%, when the enrichment that you need for power is...
Wait, what? Hold on. IAEA confirms... So, just to be clear, it doesn't say that it has started enriching uranium to 60% purity. And keep in mind, this is a 2021 article. So, for context, Iran adhering to the nuclear deal in 2018, Trump in that same year withdraws from that fucking deal. I don't know why he would do that, but he did. He withdrew from that deal, and then 3 years later, they start enriching uranium. So, by you showing us this fucking source, you look fucking stupid, Asmongold. You're basically just reaffirming that everything that Noah Samson is saying and the IAEA source is correct. Like, by showing us this source. It's so funny. Asmongold fucking pre-watched this video, and the best argument he could come up with is being like, hey guys, I'm a fucking dumbass. I'm a total moron, and so many morons listen to me and think that everything I say is based. You look fucking stupid here. That's all that you're communicating to us is. That's it. Like, there's nothing else here. You're a dumbass.
Is only 3 to 5%. Your own sources show that you're wrong. This
you're wrong.
Is insane. Like,
you're wrong, Asmongold. You're the one that's incorrect here.
What are we doing?
I don't even like Noah Samson, but you're the one that's wrong here.
Of the agreement, it was the United States.
It's so dumb. He's such a fucking idiot.
Who randomly decided to pull out and then proceed to administer brutal sanctions on Iran, crushing the country's economy in a move that was widely understood to be an unprovoked act of aggression that was condemned by
It is aggression. It is. That's the entire point.
Governments across the globe. And of course, the same is true of Israel. They violated ceasefires in Gaza and Lebanon. Now tens of...
Yes, they've violated multiple ceasefire agreements. That is a fact.
Thousands of times.
There's never been a time that Hamas or anybody else has ever bombed Israel. It's always been Israel's fault every single time.
Okay, I mean, that doesn't really address what Noah's point is, and that's the fact that Israel has, like, violated multiple ceasefire agreements. Hamas has violated some of them too, but in a lot of the cases with Israel, some of those were unprovoked. So, yes, Israel has also violated it, and we're just not gonna say anything about that, I guess.
GCC countries give trillions over the years to America. That's why this war is happening. Well, you're right. So Iran is a destabilizing force inside of the Middle East. I would much rather...
I wonder why. They're constantly being attacked. Terrorists are... And yeah, maybe terrorists are being killed, but also civilians are dying, which is also going to radicalize young people to grow up to become more terrorists again. And then we're back at square one. And the cycle repeats itself. I wonder why, Asmongold.
Or neutralize Iran, and then also weaken places like Russia, because Iran is helping Russia wage an evil war against Ukraine.
Oh my god.
But beyond that, I would much rather work with Saudi Arabia.
He doesn't care. Wait, what?
Qatar, Syria, it seems.
I love this, dude. These are all countries that Trump is, like, doing deals with. Like, we're doing deals with Qatar, we're doing deals with Saudi Arabia, and we were dealing with the UAE, which is a security risk because the UAE does deals with China, which will also advance their technology. Trading microchips to the UAE, I mean. I fucking love this. It's every country that Trump is cool with, or that every country we became cool with under Trump. It's interesting. As for Russia, by the way, Asmongold doesn't care about what Russia's doing to Ukraine. Like, he's a big Trump guy, and Trump was saying that Ukraine started the war with Russia, which is just not true.
Unlikely, but it seems like things are going very well. You have the UAE, we're working with them. Everything is going great.
We aren't supposed to be working with the UAE though, because they trade technology and microchips to China, and that's going to advance their technology, and that's not good. So we shouldn't be doing that. That was being done under Trump.
Even seems like we can kind of work with Pakistan, and that's going back and forth. So why do we need Iran and even Lebanon? Why can't we work with Lebanon? Why can't we do this? Well, I'll tell you the reason why. It's because Lebanon is being occupied by a paramilitary force, Hezbollah, that uses their own citizens and kills them.
Displacing millions of people, destroying entire towns, and starving, kidnapping, torturing, and brutalizing the population. Asmongold cites Hezbollah rocket fire as a justification for Israel's
Well, I mean, the bombing that Israel is doing onto them is indiscriminate.
bombing in Lebanon.
They're firing rockets.
That's exactly correct.
Into Israel.
But he neglects to mention any of these violations. In Lebanon, in the same...
Why would you fire a rocket into Israel? Explain to me what the benefit is to firing a rocket into Israel.
That's not the point that he's making. The point that he's making is that you refuse to acknowledge that Israel has also violated ceasefire agreements unprovoked. They have been unprovoked. And you're not addressing that part. The only way Asmongold can actually address it is by strawmanning the shit out of Noah Samson's argument. He can't even... This is how you know that he has no real argument against any of the fucking... war crimes without doing one of two things. Asmongold would either justify committing a bunch of war crimes like he did earlier in this video, or he'll just dance around it and not address it at all to try to not, I guess, appear optically bad. I don't know. It just seems kind of pathetic that you can't meet Noah Samson's argument where it's at.
There is no strategic benefit. There's no military benefit.
All you're doing is just making Noah Samson look good, and I don't even think Noah Samson's that good of a person.
Going to do is get
Asmongold's worse than Noah Samson, but Noah Samson is also not great either.
more people in your country killed. If you fired a rocket into America, it would be a lot fucking worse than Gaza.
So now, okay, of course, there's a double standard, right? By Asmongold's definition of terrorism, which is killing civilians and breaking deals, both the United States and Israel are terrorists. Asmongold...
Well, it's also that you have to keep in mind there's another component to this. Iran is positioned against the United States. They openly state that they are positioned against the United States. They openly state that they want to destroy the United States.
So just because we're cool with Israel, suddenly that makes what we're doing not an act of terrorism, and everything that Israel does is not an act of terrorism. Okay, Asmongold, cool. Amazing argument there that you got. Hey guys, we're buddy-buddy with Israel, so that means everything that's happening is justified, and everything is cool. Great.
That makes them our enemy. So the distinction between terrorist and not terrorist is only secondary to their stated intention of trying to destroy the United States. To the extent that they have that as their goal, I will support destroying them with everything that we have. And I would also extend this to other countries. If there's some African warlord that thinks that, I think we should just blow them up. People like Noah are
It's very interesting that he used Africa in particular as an example. I wonder why he would do such a thing.
traitors.
Mr. I think that Somali people have an inherently lower IQ gives a take that we should kill Africa. Peculiar.
They are. They absolutely are traitors. And the reason why they're traitors is that they don't view American interests as their own interests. They don't see themselves as Americans. I do. I view these people that are trying to go around and kill our people. They kill our people. They're doing that.
So does Israel, and so do we.
They're trying to
So have all of us, Asmongold.
enforce their doctrine in our countries.
acknowledges this directly in response to a viewer in his chat that brings up Israel.
Does Israel do that too? Israel's on our side. Iran's not.
That's correct. That's absolutely correct. I'm interested in crushing and destroying these people.
Wow. Who would have guessed that Asmongold is a violent individual and would agree with every single clip being shown of things that he has said? Who would have guessed?
By what?
Who could have possibly seen that coming?
Whatever means necessary. That's what I want to do. I don't care about whatever moral conundrum you've invented. I recognize that these people are our enemies. They seek to destroy us, to kill us, and to end our way of life. They are an existential threat, and I will support anything that will move things in a direction of neutralizing that threat.
It's very simple. It's our side versus the other side. Yes.
I don't want them doing that.
He acknowledges it further while discussing the United States.
To the extent that there is even a hint of it, even a slight, tiny, some like little resistance army in Africa, immediately bomb the shit out of them.
Blow 'em the
Shut
fuck
them
up.
down.
Yep.
Keep it done. Anybody that's chanting death to America,
exactly what I
anybody
just
that's
said.
going around talking about how they're going to attack the United States or anything else.
Gotta love the Fox News in the background, the Fox News source. That's just like the shitty cherry on top right here. Really encapsulates everything that Asmongold has become.
Totally shut them down.
And yet, he still supports them. He still
Don't give a fuck. If you don't, get the fuck out of America. Go live in Iran. Go join Hezbollah. Go do it. Get the fuck out of our country.
directly advocates
You just have to be... I'm very, very glad that I can smile at the fact that Asmongold is going to inevitably die alone. Like, that's just like no woman would ever want... The only reason a woman would ever want to sleep with Asmongold is for the money. Like, he's not physically attractive. He's not attractive personality-wise. He would provide no meaningful benefit to the relationship other than the fact that he just has a fuck ton of money, and that's really all it comes down to. Asmongold's gonna die alone, and the world's better off that way. I'm not advocating that you should be violent to Asmongold, but, like, it's gonna be a Charlie Kirk situation where once he dies, nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna give a fuck if he does. They care about the emotions that they felt when they were around Asmongold. People watch Asmongold because they can validate their racist beliefs, and they can validate what their confirmation bias of just being a racist piece of shit and being a hateful piece of shit. That's it. That's the only reason people don't really care about Asmongold that much as a person. They just care about the feelings that they got when they hung around these, like, fucking white supremacist spaces, or white supremacist adjacent spaces.
for their violence.
I hold our values, our well-being, at a higher standard than I held the well-being of other people, because I'm an American, and I want to advocate for American interests. There's not a double standard, you just simply don't understand my values. I'm not interested.
You don't care about this point, though. Asmongold doesn't particularly care about American values because everything that MAGA stands for, MAGA is anti-American. You know, they are super regressive. They want to peel back abortion. They want to peel back gay rights. They want to peel back trans rights. They want to peel back rights for women. Like, Asmongold, like, is all for being a white men Christian nation only. He is, like, pro-eugenics. Like, Asmongold is extremely anti-American. He doesn't care about this point.
Interested in your misdirection towards Israel.
Yes.
I have no interest in that. This is just terrorist subversion.
He even argues that anti-American slogans should be punishable by extrajudicial drone execution, regardless of their
Correct. Yes. African warlord talking shit, blow him up.
validity.
I don't give a
I don't particularly think it's proportionate to kill somebody just because they simply talk shit about another country. Sounds like something that's adjacent to what dictators do, but okay.
fuck what reasoning they have. I don't care what their reasoning is. I don't care what they think is right. It doesn't
Wow, who would have guessed that Asmongold agrees with everything that he himself is saying? Who would have guessed, guys? Who's surprised?
matter to me. Like, the only thing that I care about is neutralizing that threat. So whatever gets rid of, like, I don't care. I do have to appreciate Noah actually using the clips where I'm expressing what I think. Most of the time, people use clips and they interpret them in a wrong way.
That's not true. That's not true at all. You want people to interpret the clips and get, like, emotionally upset. Like, you yourself admit that you rage bait a lot. You want people to interpret it this way, so that way, like, clip accounts like Yeet and other Twitter clip accounts can post you, and you can blow up. The only reason you're saying that is the only reason you're saying this now is because Asmongold feels like he can get an own on Noah Samson because he agrees with everything. All the clips Noah Samson is showing, Asmongold agrees with. He's like, yes, absolutely, yeah. You know, everything America does is good, and America has never made any mistakes and is perfect, is pixel perfect in everything that they ever have done, especially under Trump, pedophile president. Again, like, this is not true at all. Like, once people show clips of Asmongold being a racist piece of shit, correctfully so, where they show clips of Asmongold saying black people are genetically inferior, Asmongold then backs up and goes, oh, no, but that's out of context. I actually meant this thing, or I meant that thing, or I meant the other thing. Like, Asmongold can try to, like, play this plausible deniability game, and he gets to say that people are taking him out of context, even though people are rightfully, showing I've already shown clips earlier in this fucking video of Asmongold being a racist person. He would rather have robots in this country than brown people. People interpret Asmongold correctly. It's just that when people call out Asmongold for a shit, That's the part that he doesn't like. That's what he's really saying here. He doesn't like when people disagree with him, basically. That's the part that he hates.
He is actually using the clips where I am, in plain English, expressing the way that I think about this.
Okay. Well, I mean, you agree with everything that you're saying, so no shit you're gonna think this.
You think that I give a fuck about what their reasoning is or what their justification is. I don't care. You're doing it. Okay, that's the problem.
And why does he do that? Well, the answer is fairly simple.
Because I'm an American.
He's just a racist. Fundamentally, he...
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, wow. Okay, I'm a racist. This...
Yeah. You are. Yes. Correct.
This is new.
He views some groups of people as less worthy of life than others. Terrorism is okay when we do it, but when they...
Yes, that's correct. That's absolutely correct. Remember we dropped a firebomb on Dresden and we burned thousands of people alive? Shouldn't have fucked around. Shouldn't have been doing that Nazi shit.
Even protest.
Well, you certainly sympathize with Nick Fuentes, who said that Hitler was a good guy, and you parrot behind Nazi talking points, so not really sure what the fuck you're on about, boss man.
That terrorism, they deserve to die.
Why do you think they say absolutely death to America? Probably because you attacked them first? Well, damn, that's too bad. I guess we're gonna have to attack them again.
We, Americans, and the Israelis, the inhabitants of our overseas proxy military colony, we
that's exactly right.
have a right to live, and they do not.
That's right. To the extent that they want to threaten our way of life, to the extent that they want to attack us, to the extent that they want to put lives in danger, then I think that we should systematically destroy every single one of them.
I think that disproportionately bombing other countries is a war crime. That's what that is. International law, Asmongold. Google it. Geneva Conventions. Google it.
Correct.
Human rights, and they do not. To quote Asmongold himself, it's really that simple.
It's that simple.
But for the opponents of racist mass murder, it's not enough to just point to the double standard. Asmongold's position...
There's not a double standard. There's just a misunderstanding of my value system. My value system works like this. Whatever advances the interests of Western American interests. So American interests are my primary concern. Western interests are my secondary concern. And I would say harmonious world interests are my third concern. So that means places that are maybe not necessarily on our side, but they don't necessarily always take opposition against us. Places like, for example, Saudi Arabia, Pakistan even.
You sure are bringing up Saudi Arabia an awful lot in this fucking video. Really is telling.
And India. Like, I'm going to be on India's side whenever they're being attacked by Iran, for example. And so I simply have a tier list of the people whose best interests I keep in mind. At the top of that tier list ranks American civilians, American citizens. And whatever is in the best interest of American citizens, that is what matters to me more than what is in the best interest of a terrorist jihadi in Lebanon. And do you know who agrees with me on that, by the way? It sure seems like the Lebanese government do. It's going out of its way to misunderstand you. Yeah.
While racist, is logically consistent because he's a racist. It's also not enough to point out the infinitely disproportionate nature of this violence. The fact
that's exactly correct, and I think that it should be even more disproportionate. It should be so disproportionate and so brutal and savage that these people never even consider doing it again in 1,000 years. They should surrender and give up before more of them die.
For them,
like I said, Asmongold, war crimes are crimes. That's not good to be committing war crimes. Disproportionately attacking other countries. That is a war crime.
It can all be explained by Hamas's lack of firepower. If they had the weapons Israel had, they'd do the same. Israel just had...
Yeah, Hamas would kill Israel, kill everybody in Israel. And they wouldn't just do that. See, Hamas's charter says that they want to kill all of the Jews in the world.
Had to kill tens of thousands of children because in a hypothetical I made up in a dream I had, they did the same.
It's what they say they want to do. It's not my dream, it's their dream. It's been their dream for 60 years. Made up? What are we talking about? Oh my God.
To us. Israel had to, as Asmongold put it, nip it in the bud.
If you don't kill them, they will kill you. That's exactly correct. Now, they might not kill you today, but they'll kill you in a year. They'll kill you in 10 years.
That's correct.
To the extent that they have the capacity to, they will use that capacity to harm you. So my goal is always to nip it in the bud, stop it from happening to even stop it from even beginning to happen. That's
no,
correct.
the double standards and disproportionality are not in
There isn't a double standard. I just simply hold our interests in higher regard than theirs. The double standard
What is the American interest then?
is built
Because MAGA is anti-American. You're anti-American, Asmongold. You are MAGA.
off of the wrong assumption that I
Supporting Trump is very anti-American. If you support Trump, you are anti-American.
view all of these
Especially in 2026. When, like, he's done so much bad shit and you're, like, oblivious. You pretend to be oblivious to all the bad shit that he's done. You're anti-American if you still support Trump in 2026.
interests is similar or equivalent. I don't.
The only way to get to the bottom of this
Again, like, Asmongold doesn't really care about American interests. Like, he's very anti anything that isn't white Christian men that exist in this country. That's, like, all it comes down to. The only reason he cares about this is because Trump said it was a good thing. It's, like, his interests are gonna be whatever the big man in the fucking whatever the fucking big orange fucking yellow toupee pedophile says in the White House. That's what Asmongold's take is gonna be.
terrorism quandary is to find the inception point. Where does this all begin? And looking at the historical
Iran, which is the reason why we need to dismantle the IRGC and kill everybody in their leadership and get rid of Iran. And make sure that the Iranian people, by the way, the Iranian people, and this is something that we always forget, the support for the Iranian dictatorship or theocracy is under 20%. Less people support the Iranian dictatorship theocracy than supported Maduro when we took him from Venezuela. They're totally oppressed over there, and Iran kills their own people.
record, the answer is pretty clear. Before Hezbollah existed, Israel invaded Lebanon, killed tens of thousands of people. Hezbollah was formed in response to this genocidal invasion, as a group resisting it, fighting to get Israel out of their country. And that's exactly what they did. Before Hamas existed, Israel stole Palestine. Between 1947
I stole it.
I mean, again, like, I'm not going to go into it again. I've already addressed this point earlier in the video, but I wouldn't say that Israel stole the... I mean, like, I'm not going to get into it, but, like, basically, the English gave them the land after the Jews were... A lot of them were freed in World War II, and they needed a place to go, so that's where the land of Israel came in to be. You know, it sucks that that displaced a tons of Palestinians, and that should be rectified. And I do think that Israel needs to pay tons of reparations to Palestine, along with the U.S. for contributing, making their contributions to Israel, doing it by sending them weapons. I think that, like, we should, there should be reparations paid, and we need to give Palestinians the better end of the deal when a two-state solution happens. But, like, we are where we are now, you know? Like, I don't think that the state of Israel should just dissolve, because then that's going to displace even more people, and that's going to create more problems, ultimately. Like, we are where we are now, and that's just, like, you know, we kind of have to figure out how we're going to move forward, and we have to have a realistic solution to these things. You can't just create a one-state solution and expect that to be, like, a one-size-fits-all solution. That's a unrealistic fantasy perspective. You can't just expect that to happen. You have to be you have to have a realistic way to move forward with these issues. It's not so black and white.
1949, Zionist forces destroyed some 530 villages and about 15,000 Palestinians.
I'm not interested in the sand wars. I don't care about the sand wars. I'm sure there's blood on everyone's hands. I care about American interests right now, right here.
Again, Asmongold doesn't care about American interests. It's whatever Trump says. He doesn't care about that. This whole thing is just like, hey, how can I virtue signal my audience? That's all this is. He doesn't care. He just says things.
In 2026. All of this historical babble means literally nothing to me. I care about what is happening right now.
This is the inception point. Regardless of the label you use to describe these groups, the moral calculus doesn't change. Resisting invasion, occupation, and genocide through armed struggle is moral and just and legal under international law, and it should not be condemned. Your own personal feelings towards the methods are irrelevant. They do not matter, not when you live in the West and not in Palestine, and especially not when those objections are weaponized as the pretext for genocide, which is what Asmongold...
I don't care what happened in 1950. It doesn't matter to me. What's happening right now is the problem. Whenever Hamas goes into Israel and they kill American citizens, I don't care what happened in 1950. I don't care what happened in 1970. The moment that you do that, the second that you do that, you are an enemy of the country and you need to be annihilated. I don't care about all of your sand war history. I don't care about all of this context. I
I feel like we're watching the same video over and over and over again. It's like, it's just the endless fucking calls to violence is so desensitizing. Jesus fuck, dude.
care about what Israel did in 1951. None of that's relevant to me. If you like these countries so much, go over there and live there. Go live there. What I'm so fucking tired of and so exhausted from is you have these people who basically are Americans in name only that always take the side against America. These are people that support...
But you are also an American in name only. You're MAGA, and everything that MAGA stands for is not so different from third worlders in this fucking country. You know, a lot of these people, like, ideally, like, in a perfect world, America would be, like, progressive, ideally. Like, progressive when it comes to rights, you know, freedom from religion, that sort of thing. MAGA is totally anti, like, all of that. Because all they really have to go off of is Trump, when Trump fucking rapes everything. Like, Trump rapes other countries, Trump fucking rapes the economy. He's raping everything harder than he fucking rapes kids on a fucking island.
Literal terrorists. Hamas doesn't just simply want Israel to leave, they want to kill every single Jew in the world. This entire premise that,
He doesn't care about this point. He fucking sides with white supremacists that hate Jewish people like Nick Fuentes and Sam Hyde. You don't care about this point.
Hamas are freedom fighters. Well,
it's like, enough is enough. Like, stop. Like, we need to stop with it, like, believing Asmongold when he, like, continuously virtue signals about this. Like, he doesn't care. He just says things.
And if they're such great freedom fighters, then why are the people from Gaza asking for freedom from Hamas? Maybe there's a problem here. Maybe there's something wrong. And to be honest with you, while I can commiserate with them, it's fundamentally not my problem. What they do over in Palestine, what they do in Israel, what they do in Lebanon is only in the purview of American interests to the extent that it affects us. If they want to fight and have battles and wars and civil wars and everything, that's totally up to them. But fundamentally, the focus needs to be on American interests. And right now, American interests are not in the best interest of allowing these terrorist cells to continue operating. We have to spend billions of dollars every single year to create countermeasures for Iranian terrorism by proxy. I want that to stop. And I don't care what history lesson, what reasoning, what terrorist justification, or what propaganda you can invent to say that it's okay.
Well, your justification is Trump, baby. Trump said it's okay, which means that it must be an okay thing to do.
I don't agree with it, because it's the end result is what matters. And the end result is that ships are being bombed, people and American citizens are being killed, and we're having to spend...
There was an old YouTube video back in 2016. I don't think it's like up anymore, because unfortunately the guy that posted it got bullied into oblivion. But basically he was saying that it was basically like some gay guy. It was some fucking gay kid, and he was like, he made like a video of him like shaking his ass to Donald Trump. He's like, "Are you feeling it now, Donald Trump? Donald Trump, are you feeling it now?" That's Asmongold, basically, like all the time. He's just like, he wants Donald Trump to know, "Hey, Donald Trump, I like you. Are you feeling it, Donald Trump? Do you like me, Donald Trump?"
Billions of dollars stopping these freaks from doing it even more.
Demonstrates in his video here. So, as I said at the start, Asmongold is one of the most widely viewed live streamers on YouTube. He gets millions of views per day, several times more than any other political live streamers in most news channels. And when these millions of viewers click onto his show, this is what they are greeted with. Terrorists.
Good. That's the reason why I do it. I want to shift people's minds. I want to make people think about this in the way that I do. And the reason why a lot of people...
You're never going to accomplish that with me, ever. I can, like, promise you that. You will never get me to think the shit that you do, and I'm glad I will never think the shit that you do.
Or watching this is because a lot of people are sick of traitors like Noah.
No, the reason why people watch Asmongold is because they're all hateful pieces of shit that fucking hate brown people, and they can go... Asmongold provides a safe space for those people. That's all it is. It's not going to be as deep as whatever Asmongold is going to say. Asmongold's going to go on this deep speech about how people are sick of it, how people are tired of the world or whatever. You guys voted a pedophile president into office. The world is even more shit now because of you guys. We're in deeper shit now because of you guys. It's crazy. Like, MAGA's movement is about basically creating problems and then complaining about said problems when they occur. That's it. But it could never be Trump's fault. It never Trump's fault. It's always, we're gonna beat around the bush when Trump is the main fucking cause for a lot of these issues that we're having.
Constantly find themselves on the opposing side of America who should be shipped over to Iran. Why don't you go to Gaza? If you think these people are such great freedom fighters, then go over there. But you're not.
Wow, what a great argument. Hey, leave the country if we're having a shitty time here in America. Great argument. Leave under Biden then. Why don't you guys leave under Biden? If you guys hated Biden so much, just fucking leave the country. I'll just use your logic back at you.
Not. You're going to sit in your air-conditioned room while you spread anti-Western propaganda as you profit.
I don't think your room's any better, Asmongold. You live in a literal shithole. Like, he's admitted that he, like, uses a fucking dead rat as an alarm clock because the rat's skin would cook in the sun, and it would smell like absolute dog shit, and this fucking scent would get up in Asmongold's nose, and that's how he would use as an alarm clock. So, you're the third worlder, Asmongold. Your house is a third world country. You have third world values. You are the third worlder that you hate so much.
From it over and over and over, and then you cry because Ethan's suing you because you said that he promoted the genocide. Too bad.
Propaganda.
Whoa.
Israel should and there are a lot of people that disagree with me, and I welcome that. I accept that.
No, you don't. That's a fucking lie. Oh my god, that is such a lie. Dude, if Asmongold cultivated an environment where people were open to disagreeing, your fans wouldn't be so fucking rabid and dislike bomb the video and fucking comment a bunch of slurs calling me names and resort to feelings-based attacks on me rather than facts-based attacks on me. That happens every single time I try to criticize Asmongold without fail. If you really cultivated that argument, that would, like, in that environment in general, that wouldn't be fucking happening. That is such a fucking lie.
Not everybody's going to have the same viewpoint, but I think most people do agree.
Oh my god. What a fucking... he just says things. He just fucking says things. He never fucking stands by any of the shit he says.
I think especially most Americans agree, which is what matters the most to me. Bombing Lebanon, because Lebanon has terrorists in it. They have Hezbollah in it.
Profoundly ignorant, factually incorrect, and morally...
Factually incorrect that Lebanon has terrorists in it as Hezbollah? What? What? What are we doing?
Demented propaganda for U.S.-Israeli terrorism. I don't know how convincing any of his videos are, you know?
It's not important to me what's compelling to the average person. It's important to me what's compelling to the average American. I don't care what some random person in another country thinks. I want to change the hearts and minds of people.
Let me translate that for you. It's better to... What does Trump think? That's the perfect translation. That's all you really need to know. TLDR.
Inside of Western civilization, so we can wake up, open our eyes, and identify the threat of this extremism that's right in front of us.
Jesus Christ, he yaps for so fucking long. He's so boring. Holy shit, dude. Thank God there's only like fucking 3 minutes left in this. Jesus fuck.
And I think people like Noah are the ones that are trying to defend from it. They're the ones that are trying to allow this extremism to happen more and more and more. I understand that there's a lot of people that aren't going to agree with me, but I think fundamentally we'll be living in a better world whenever there are no terror cells that are using innocent people as human shields so they can accrue international capital to continue fueling a holy war that is at the expense of everybody except for themselves.
January 6th, January 6th. Asmongold does not want you talking about January 6th.
I think that they are profoundly evil people, and the only way they can be stopped is to be killed.
By the way, some could make an argument that the January 6th people are a little bit worse because a lot of them had child porn charges on them. A lot of them are pedophiles. Damn. Oh, wait, I forgot. MAGA likes rape and pedophilia. I totally forgot. They've accepted it as the norm. They fucking vote a rapist pedophile into office, and they, like, sweep for him being on the Epstein list all the time. So, yeah, I forgot. They don't care about that.
And the reason why we as Americans need to do that is because it metastasizes.
Because brown people, fuck you. You deserve to die because you're brown.
And affects Europe, it affects America, and it affects our global trade. God. So we have to do this in order to protect our interests by proxy. How, though? By killing them. Like, what, do you think this is like some kind of like gotcha? Like
more calls to violence on stream?
Oh, I'm not going to say that? That's exactly what I think. That's exactly what I say every single time.
This channel is just a place people can go to have their feelings of racist bloodlust validated.
There's a huge amount of truth in that. That's what I've been saying.
It's a safe space. But if
correct.
there is anyone watching that wants to actually engage with the facts critically, I would encourage them to consult any of the resources on...
Any of the information that you see here has been captured by people that are working inside of these countries, and they have to behave and report in a way that's congruent to what the terrorists approve of. All of them have to
So you're basically saying the information is biased. Are you going to prove how the information is incorrect, or are you just going to say that the information is just incorrect and you expect your audience to just take your word for it?
operate inside of the parameters that...
Tough sell to be like, hey guys, this information's biased and incorrect, and then use Twitter and Fox News as your source. It's a bit of a tough sell there, buddy.
The terrorists set for them. You shouldn't listen to anything that any of these people are saying, because their lives literally depend on pushing terrorist propaganda. It's just true. My interest is solely on getting rid of terrorism and prevailing American interests. That is the only thing that I care about. All of these other things are not important to me.
The fact that you are supporting terrorism when you say stuff like this. Thank you for watching. Join my Patreon if you enjoyed it, and also if you don't want to have to hear...
If you want to help pay for the lawsuit.
Okay, bye.
To be fair, okay, so I think Noah is a disingenuous, lying, weasel, piece of shit, retard leftist that should be shipped over to Iran.
So based, King.
I do think that. However, I will say that in terms of Asmongold criticism videos, he did actually just show me expressing my viewpoints. You're too generous to him. He's doing to you what he did to Ethan. Well, it's not important to me whether people do that or not. What a lot of these people do, this is the sleight of hand that happens. And once I say it, I hope that you guys can think about it and then apply it in the future. One of the biggest sleight of hands that these people do is that they say that it's not terrorism because what Israel is doing is also terrorism. I don't care what is...
Well, I don't think that's the point that Noah was making. Well, I mean, to be fair, he does whitewash Hamas. I would say a majority of the left doesn't really whitewash what Hamas does. Like, they say, yeah, Hamas is also bad. They've committed war crimes. They've committed mass rapes onto Israeli civilians. Yes, absolutely. That's true. But it's still not a... Like, Israel uses that as well as October 7th as a continued justifier to disproportionately kill Palestinian people. That's why they call the Israeli government terrorists. And I would say what they do definitely and definitionally falls under the terrorist label.
Israel is doing. I don't care what's happening in the Middle East. It's not relevant to me.
You made an entire video talking about it, and you're gargling Saudi Arabia. Whatever. I want to be done with this. It's just I can't fucking... I feel like if I earned like $1 every time Asmongold had a fucking incongruency in his values, I feel like I would be... I could retire, actually. I'd be more rich than Asmongold if that happened.
To me is American interests. The only thing and the bottom line that matters to me is preserving American interests inside of America. Everybody in that entire region has blood on their hands. Every single group has had a massive amount of horrible bad actors that have run their countries. And fundamentally,
Israel has not had bad actors running their country, I guess, despite the endless war crimes and Netanyahu being a disgusting war criminal. But he could do no wrong because he's best friends with Trump, I guess.
You can't define a country based off of what they did 70 years ago. What people like Noah do, and what a lot of this propaganda does, is it creates a false dichotomy between supporting terrorists and supporting Israel. It's easy for me to say that I don't want to have AIPAC involved in American politics. I don't want to have us be as closely associated with Israel. And I don't want to be responsible.
Probably because a lot of white supremacists don't think that Jewish people are white people. I think that's mainly the reason why he doesn't want America associated with Israel. But because Trump is buddy-buddy with Israel, Asmongold's willing to excuse it because Trump said so.
Responsible for what Israel is doing in the Middle East. But at the same time, if Israel or any other group in the Middle East is willing to work with us to help remove the Islamic terrorism cancer that is affecting, by the way, this is one thing to keep in mind, is that the people that are in these countries suffer the most from it. They are the ones that are truly being terrorized and terrified by these evil people. And I think that's the saddest thing about it.
That video rotted the shit out of my fucking brain. Thank God we're done with it.